What's that?
Boom.
This is early.
Yeah. Good morning, Ben. Good afternoon, Stefan.
Nearly good
Uh,
evening.
what time is it there?
4 p.m.
Oh, it's not that bad. How has your how's the trip been with James being there?
Oh, it was great. He got a city tour and had to walk a lot. So,
Uh,
oh my, I never walked that long in my life. It was 12,000 steps, so not that intense. But
really?
I showed him a little bit of Austrian culture.
That's nice.
We had a very good shoulder arm training session. We did a lot of posing and paid really a close eye on details in posing because I think a lot of can be improved there. And then he also had a nice training with another athlete of mine, with Kevin. They did legs. I had a short overviews between and changed little things, but I'm optimistic, especially when it comes to symmetry and when it comes to balance. I'm really happy what he displays. He's a little bit flat right now, but that should be sorted out when it comes to stage, because a little bit more fat has to go away, especially in lower back. But when there is pressure in it, it should look really, really good.
Okay, we'll come back to that one second here. Let's just get our let's get our other guest here. Whoa.
Oh,
Look at this guy.
is the cap too small or the head too big?
Probably the head.
Can I ask you? Okay, okay. First, I just want to say hello, Regan. Nice to have
Good
you on the
morning. Good
show.
morning.
But can I just say something?
Yeah.
Stefan has made me wish I was autistic.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, because he can say whatever the fuck he wants, and he gets
Can.
he just gets away with it because he's autistic.
No, believe me, I get beaten up all the time.
What do you? No, you don't. You've been on this podcast for like 4 weeks now. You say the worst shit. Nobody says anything to you. You just get away
Yeah,
with all of it.
but imagine how much my wife tells me what I'm a big idiot. She presented me that fucking thing. You see that?
What's that?
What is this?
It's a soft worm. And she said whenever I get nasty or angry or something like that, I should go and squeeze that fucking shit and pull it
Oh,
that
That's
I get
hilarious.
normal again.
it's a stress
Oh,
toy. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
yeah.
usually they give it to children. So
Regan, how are you, brother? How's it going?
Good. I'm doing great. I'm just getting awake here in the morning. So I'm not a super early guy. I don't know about you, but
Yeah, I like I said, good morning to Ben. I say good morning to you as well. I'm up having my first coffee with you guys.
yeah, same good.
Uh, Stefan
what
needed.
about super early? It's 10 a.m., right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not super early, but it's early for a podcast. It's
For a
early for a
podcast.
podcast.
Yeah,
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 it's
yeah.
People will
You
think I'm a complete monster. I force you out in the middle of the night, 6 a.m. No, it's 10. It's already
yeah,
lunchtime.
yeah. You're right. You're right.
uh,
It's
how are you sleeping in so late with a kid though, so young? We kind of do shifts. Like I kind of do the later night stuff, and then she does all the morning. So we take
Gotcha.
we split it up.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
So Reagan, what's it like, dude? How old is I'm sorry, is this son or daughter?
yeah, son, yeah,
How old is your son now?
like 4 months, 4 months
Four
now.
months. How has the 4 months been? Well, first, but before you get to the 4 months,
Yeah.
how was the 9 months leading up to it? Was it hell? Was it like pretty good? Was it
I don't know. Brittany's a trooper, so like she just handles things really well, and I mean, I think we just prepared for it, and we were ready. Basically, by the time the baby was here, we had everything you could imagine, the toys and all the things they sleep in, and all the formulas, and we were all ready for it. So
but
um,
was it like you see in the movies? Like was it a nightmare? Like you had to run around and get her shit and like
no,
baby
not at
baby
all.
no? Wasn't like
No,
that?
I mean, she still made my meals for me. She's
Really?
yeah, yeah.
Fuck,
She's the
man. My
best.
my wife's not even pregnant. She didn't make my meals for me.
Uh,
That's amazing. So
yeah.
So after the baby was born, then what? How did life start to change?
Um, I mean, we work really well together, so I feel like, and she knows, what's important. Obviously, my training every day. She takes the baby, I go, and then I come back home, and then she goes, and then I take care of him. So we
Right.
kind of do it's like a 50-50. And um, we also like use formula, so she's not breastfeeding, so I actually do some of the feeds too, so I
Okay.
can take him for the day. Some days I realize, as a mom too, like she needs to get out and do stuff too, because 9 months she was pregnant and then having the baby. So some days she can just go for the day, go to the mall, do her thing, and then I can take care of him too, which is great.
What? So let me ask you this. Last week when James was on here, we were talking about being a dad, and
Mhm.
or maybe it was the week before, I don't remember, but these guys were talking about how in the first year they didn't feel as connected to the child because the child's more connected to the mother in the first year, right?
Yeah,
But what I want to ask you is, since you're doing most, like, half the feeding, and
yeah,
it's not just her, do you feel more connection to the baby?
yeah, for sure. Like I don't feel that at all, really. I think, for example, Antoine just had a baby too,
Yeah,
and his wife does breastfeeding 100% of the time.
right.
So I think that's a huge thing. Like
Okay.
there's a bonding time when you're feeding the baby, and if you don't feel like you can really take care of the baby fully, like it's relying on the mother, right? So
Right, right.
there definitely is a space between that. Yeah.
Ben, do you wish you would have fed your kid more?
Oh, but in plenty, plenty. Well enough.
I
Well,
was
Not more.
complete
I was
useless
just,
in that time.
it is, Regan's right, it's a complete barrier though. That I
Yeah.
was thinking about that. Before you brought that up, I was like, wow, he's way more balanced than I was in the first. I mean, I prepped for the first 9 months, so whatever, but more so you actually, to be fair. So it's like no different, but then I'm like, why did I not balance it out so much? But the feeding is such a barrier. If you can't
yeah.
do that,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
huge.
Well, I can imagine
Just-
it's a basic instinct, right? So if it's just the mother doing it, you just stand to reason that she would be more connected.
Mm.
Mhm.
So, Regan, do you wear one of those fake tits and put the baby like
No. No.
no, just the regular
Not,
bottle?
not, not, not to feed the baby.
I really
Um,
have a traumatic experience with taking care of the baby. My daughter was quite young,
yeah.
Yeah.
and my wife wanted to have a shower.
Hmm.
And she went to have a shower and gave me the baby. And my daughter started to cry. After 30 minutes, I was going to the shower. Take that. I have no idea what I should do with it. So that
How
was
can
how bad I was in that situation.
Okay, but let me ask you something, Stefan. How's that possible? You're a coach, and
Yeah.
your job as a coach is basically problem solving. So you're gonna when
Uh-huh.
you see an athlete and they look a certain way, you go down a checklist of
Yeah.
things
Uh-huh.
of how to fix their look, right? How is it not the same thing with a baby? You're just gonna go down the checklist. Did he shit his pants? Does he need to
No,
eat?
it wasn't.
Did it,
It wasn't. Yeah, that was the point. It's quite fast, you know.
yeah,
It didn't shit. I wasn't able to give her food
yeah,
because I
yeah,
don't have that balls.
yeah,
Um, she didn't look that she had pain or something like that.
right,
So it might have been the food,
right,
and I wasn't able to handle that crying for longer because I was so sad that that little child cries, and I wanted her to stop. So I needed to bring her to mommy to solve the problem.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Shit,
It
that is
can be
that's my
frustrating though, right? It can be frustrating sometimes because you don't know.
Completely.
Yeah, you don't always know. You learn now that there's this cry for this, there's this cry for that, kind of, but it still could be crossed over.
But
You
now
know,
I have an interesting question for you.
yeah,
Because that will answer, I think, the Fouad question a little bit. So you have shift, okay?
yeah,
It's your shift, it's your duty, not the duty of your wife.
uh-huh,
And your son starts to cry,
yeah.
and he doesn't stop crying. Do you go with the baby to her and ask what you should do, or is it your shift and you don't go there at all?
So I will usually eventually figure it out, but I have messaged her before, like say she was out for the day, and I'd messaged her before, like, Holy, when are you coming home? Because like he's really fussy today. Like he's giving me a hard time. But usually it's like, one or two things. It's he needs the bottle, like he's hungry, or he needs his diaper changed. So like usually if I do those two things, he's good. And then sometimes, he just wants to be held. So you put him down in his one chair that swings this way, or you put him in this chair that vibrates, or this chair that, there's all different ones. So you got to kind of like test them out and see what he's enjoying.
I was lucky if I got a chair when I was growing up. It was the corner. It's like, there, that's your choice.
Hey, do you ever just let him fucking cry?
Um,
Do you ever just leave him and like, you know what? I fed you, I changed your diaper, I held you, now you're just being an asshole.
I think it's really always a reason, and you should solve that reason if it's in your dimension of solving it.
Well, I don't know, because there is a thought process out there that's like,
yeah.
there is something to be said for letting a baby cry.
Self-soothing. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what I mean? Because if you constantly grab the bit, like, listen, I'm not a father, so I don't know. I'm just telling you what I've seen and read.
Yeah.
If you constantly pick up the baby every time it cries, then that becomes the trigger for it. Like,
so
go ahead, Ben.
we had that issue with Phoenix. He wouldn't sleep through the night, right? So it took until Donise went away to work a show for 2 nights in a row, and I had to just stay like stubborn and let him cry through the night. And then when she got back, he was way better. Like, just stepped through, because he was just like, oh fuck it, I'm not crying, and they're not gonna come.
But for example, our daughter is a different example. She just cried when there was an issue, and we always dealt with the issue.
Yeah,
And she never started crying without that. And it's so funny because our neighbors, they had children in the same age, and at that time we had a flat, so we were just, it wasn't good isolation acoustic wise.
Right.
Yeah.
And every time when we met our neighbor, she was asking, is your child normal? Because she never cries.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great.
I mean, look, Stefan, I think, like I said, if you've checked the things off the list, like you fed the baby, you cleaned its diaper, whatever. I'm just saying, I've seen things where they've said, like, there is something to be said for everything. All the boxes have been checked. Now it's actually kind of good to just let the baby cry and stop crying on its own instead of picking it up every time.
That could maybe play a bigger role when they get older. And when the thinking process and that comes place. But when they are really small, I think it's really they cry just when there is an issue.
Yeah,
okay, but let me.
Unless they're like something called colic, I believe.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah, that's
different. Then that has its own thing. But I think I've tried for maybe 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, let's just see if he falls asleep in 5 minutes.
So let me ask you this, because I'm not listen, I'm going to preface everything always with I'm not a father, so I don't really understand your guys' level of pain. But Stefan, I have seen and read things where they say the babies start learning the minute they're like present. It's not like, I think what I've seen is that people make the mistake of thinking, I will train the baby to be, or teach the baby to be a certain way when it's a certain age. And they're finding out that the baby is learning from the second it's opened its eyes. So I'm like, if you know what I mean? Like, it's just a thought process kind of thing. I wonder.
Yeah, I can get what you mean. But on the other hand, if you are a human being and you let's say it that way, you have something to say, or you want something, or you do something, you articulate it. Even we in our age, we go to our wife and say, yeah, make me a coffee.
Right.
Bad example, but you know what I mean, yeah?
Yeah.
And the baby at that age, the only possibility it has is crying.
Right.
So when the baby cries, there is something, if it's fundamental or not, what the baby needs, but it's for sure something.
And
I think it's more the point, how do you react with it, and how when they grow up and start talking and start learning more, how do you deal then with unnecessary things they want from you?
Right.
But in the end, when they make something, it's something they want something. you know,
Mhm.
and it's hard to objectivate, is it urgent or not?
Right.
But that's the
Right.
only way they could argue. Bleh.
Yeah. Yeah. Regan, I just got a super chat from Vajero Santos. Thank you. He says, Regan, please whoop Nick Walker's ass soon. And I've seen a whole bunch of people in the chat have been saying something about Nick. Did Nick say
Yeah.
something online yesterday? I didn't see it.
I don't know. I actually don't know.
Does anybody,
I think
Stefan, or does anybody know?
I
Or
don't follow social media, so
I think it might be from stuff he said in the past, you know. But I don't think he said anything as of recent. I don't know.
We're
well,
so on the pulse here. We just know what's going on, hey?
Yeah.
one guy said that he called you an IG bodybuilder, but I thought that was old.
Yeah,
I
this is
also
old.
think
This
that
is old for sure.
that's old.
Do you think you're an
Well-
IG body? Do you think you're an IG bodybuilder?
I mean, he posts more than I do, so I don't know.
Well,
I don't think anyone that's a two-time Olympian is
Yeah.
an IG bodybuilder, right?
what are you,
No.
Regan? I want to get to listen. I'm sure somebody in the chat will tell me if Nick said anything recently, but
Yeah.
if not, I just want to move on to your updates because I'm pretty blown away by the updates, and I'm actually interested in. Before we get into the updates, actually, Stefan, I want to ask you, when did you and Regan start working together?
That I don't tell bullshit. It's easy to say.
Look at this guy. He's got to give me the exact fucking date. I just need a ballpark.
I will tell you that. I can also say the time. I just need to
He messaged me. He messaged me 3
scroll
months
the
ago.
fuck to scroll the fuck up.
Regan,
It was Sunday, the 13th of October at 7:00, 17 minutes Vienna time.
That's the day after the Olympia. Just if anyone, the 12th of October was finals, right?
No, it's wrong. It's wrong. We didn't start working there. We talked the first time there. Okay.
It was the following week for sure.
We started working together on Wednesday, the 16th October at 5 p.m.
So okay. So Regan, let me guess what happened. Who did Stefan coach at the Olympia? Martin. So Martin takes 4th place, and then you call Stefan the next day. Is that what happened?
No, it was no. He wrote before the show.
Oh, before the show.
The first time he wrote before the show because the WhatsApp chat, he didn't have my number. Nobody has my number who haven't got it from me. So he wrote before the Olympia to not push him in that direction.
So what was the catalyst, Regan? And did it worry you that he already had like 6, 7, 8 guys on his roster?
No, that's one question, I get, people, Stefan has a lot of athletes, but I always say, also the same thing that he says, I was watching your last podcast too, where you had Martin on and whatnot. And I think it's just an amazing thing for everyone to be their best. You know, like if everyone can be at their best, what is better than that?
Do you worry? Listen, I'm not implying that Stefan will play favorites.
Yeah.
What I'm implying is that it may get overwhelming and he might drop the ball on somebody. Sorry, Stefan, I'm talking about you like you're not here. But what if he drops? What do you like before you signed up with him? Before you called him, were you like, you know what? He's got 10 guys. Maybe it's going to be too busy. Maybe I'm not going to get the attention I need. Like, did that cross your mind?
It was definitely a thought, but then I've seen videos where I don't know if it was on your podcast or when he was in maybe Czech Republic or something, and he had like 10 guys, and he just didn't seem to be an issue. He seemed to be able to handle it no problem, and so I feel like it'll be no problem.
So you've said like a few times already that you watch my podcast.
Yeah.
But it's been 5 years and this is your first time on. So what the fuck is the problem? I'm just joking. I'm just joking. No, for those people watching, Regan was on. Hey, I lost Stefan. What happened? Regan was on what, 3 years ago? We did one.
Three or
it was early on. It was early on. It was like
when you just started.
Yeah, I think it was within the first year, or maybe the second year max.
Yeah.
And the audio was.
Maybe he didn't like my answer.
What do you mean?
He just left.
Oh yeah, he's like fuck you guys. He's like fuck you guys. I'm out of here.
Yeah,
No, I remember we did that podcast and it was good. I thought we had a really good conversation,
yeah,
but
yeah.
the audio was so fucking bad. I couldn't
Yeah, that's crazy. I remember
I couldn't air it, and then we just never got back to it. So
that had to been. It was what, one of your first episodes, right? I mean,
it was within the yeah, it was in the first
like,
20 or 30, I think. I don't
right.
remember. I got to message Stefan, see where the fuck he is.
Oh shit.
He's had enough.
Yeah, he's had
Hey,
enough
put up
of me.
some of Regan's
I'm gonna.
updates. The last one I saw was the back.
Okay.
Is it the back that we put up?
I kept posting the front shot, so I was like, I gotta throw something up from the back.
Well, you have to because then people are like, yeah, but
Yeah,
not,
they're like,
not with you because people know you have like your back is your best body part. So I don't think you're
yeah,
gonna run the risk of
no.
people thinking you're hiding your back or anything. All
Yeah,
right.
it would have been funny if I kept it out.
So this is the most recent update,
Yeah.
dude. 303 there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fucking really good 300 pounds, man.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
And then this is from the front.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. It's like people are gonna listen. I know people look at this and they're like, well, he's got abs and he looks pretty lean. Like he should be on stage at like 280, but there's still probably 30 or 40 pounds here, right?
Yeah.
Like you probably get down to 270 at least.
Yeah, I don't know. I usually lose about 20 pounds, I think.
Really?
So, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? And I'm going to say something that you're not going to like, but
No, I need to be in better shape though.
yeah, like what if you got in the condition that like
Yeah.
that Derek gets into,
Yeah, exactly.
right? Are
Yeah.
you going to be like what were you on stage last time you went on stage?
I was actually in between 255 and 260.
Wasn't that the Olympia? That was the
That's
Olympia, right?
Yeah.
That was the leanest I've seen you.
255 to 260. And then I qualified, was it 6 weeks before that in Italy and Spain? I was 270 at that show.
What
Yeah,
was
so I was in Spain when you beat
Were
Nathan,
you?
so I saw that. Yeah,
Oh,
so I
that's
saw
right.
I saw the Spain show, and then I saw you at the Olympia, and you were way lean, like way harder and tighter.
Much
Yeah.
leaner. Yeah.
what was the Spain show called?
The
Europa? Is it a Euro?
Yeah.
2023?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, 50. Yeah, I was like, I felt like I was pretty good at 260. I had come down 10 pounds. And then by the time I actually got on the stage, I think I was like closer to 255.
Why
The
can't
Olympia, right?
why can't I open this?
The whole fucking internet blew off.
Did it
This
just
is-
shut off?
Yeah, it went off at the moment Fouad started to talk shit about me.
Wow.
So I have zero chance.
Yeah.
Regan thought that you got mad at me and left.
Yeah.
No, from 1 second to another, everything was shut down, so I had to reboot the modem.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
We're taking a look at Regan. I asked Regan about his weight, and we're taking a look at his last like big look. So what was this show here, Regan?
Which one? That was Spain.
Yeah, this is the Spain show you're talking about, Regan. So
Yeah.
what's your weight here? 260?
I was 270.
270 here.
Yeah.
Okay, but
I was not so shredded though.
do you think this is 5 or 10 pounds away from like Derek level conditioning or Hottie level conditioning?
10 to 15, I guess.
Yeah,
So you
but
think
the Olympia look was his leanest one, right? Let's see,
Which-
255, top left. Is it top left one?
this one?
No.
That was the week
That's-
before that one.
That's Italy.
Yeah.
Where's it?
That's
You want
Italy.
find the Olympia 23.
1 second. You said at Italy you were 270?
Yeah.
So you're 270 here?
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's the lighting or the camera, but you look better here than you do here.
It's
No,
for
he didn't.
sure.
Do you
I
feel
would
like
say.
do you feel like in person you look better here?
No, I was better in Spain for sure.
You're better here. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
This one's
Italy was first, right? Italy was the week before, and then Spain.
I did over 10 hours of cardio in between those shows. It was 1 week apart.
well, you lost 10 pounds, so you must have.
No, I was the same actually, like maybe 2 pound difference.
Oh,
But it was leading into the Olympia, which was 6 weeks after this, that I had lost another 10 to 12 pounds.
so what were you at the Olympia?
I was like 258, 256 probably.
Let's take a look at that.
Yeah, that left photo.
Was this one?
Top left photo.
Okay, this is ninth
But
place,
see,
2020.
like I'm flat in the pecs.
Regan, I didn't realize you've been in top 10 in the Olympia.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm,
And he
could have been higher.
I'm not just an Instagram bodybuilder.
Well, just take it easy. I'm not trying to be insulting. I just
I know.
I just forgot. I didn't.
Yeah.
That's your most used word today. I'm not trying to insult.
Well, I'm turning over. Okay, so yeah. So how do you feel about your conditioning here? It's pretty good.
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I think that my conditioning was good. I feel like my peak was not like I feel like the muscle could have been fuller and the skin could have been tighter and I could have been drier. You know how we all think.
Yeah.
But that's just the name of the game for me as of my career.
Stefan, can I ask you if you had to break it down, or Ben, if you want to take a crack at it, what do you think that is like? Because Regan seems to get, and I'm sorry, Regan, I'm talking about you like you're not here, but
Yeah,
Regan seems to get really big, and then come down, and it's like the muscle goes with the fat, and you don't get that thing where he's like, oh, he's 300. Now he's 270 and he's fucking peeled. It's more like he's 270, but the muscle deflated a little bit as well. Now we got to go to 260. And then you go to 260, but the muscle deflates a little bit even more. And you never get that point where the muscle stops deflating and the fat just goes away.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it just seems like the leaner Regan gets and the more conditioned he gets, the muscle just kind of shrinks a little bit with the fat. Do you understand? So what is that like? How do you
more than you want it to, right? Because you're going to give up a little bit of that, but
yeah, you're going to lose a little muscle when you're trying to get conditioned. But I just mean like it's not like this is what I mean. If you see him at 270, if you see him at 270, in your mind you'd stand to reason. Okay, he looks like he's got 10 pounds. I'm going to peel 10 pounds off him. So you peel 10 pounds off him, but then when he gets to 260, you're like, fuck, he still looks like he has 5 more pounds. Like the muscle seems to come with the fat, and you never reach the point of thin skin.
So
by the way.
No. I'm just waiting. I follow Regan since really a long time, from his classic days to the open days. And I have been actually live at a lot of shows he has been, because especially the two ones in Italy and also in Spain. The first problem I always saw, and now we are going on the stage thing, because there was part of. Then I will tell you my thinking of the issue you were telling about. So the first thing is that Regan always had the stage problem. So even when Regan came out in a quite good condition with good pressure and everything was fine, he was fading immensely. He was always started to sweating, he was losing pressure, and he was getting more flatter. That was also the reason why for me in both of that shows, for me, I would have preferred Nathan, because he's very constant from the beginning to the end. Condition stays and all of that stuff. The condition in Italy was a little bit, the condition in Spain was then a little bit better than in Italy, but still that losing of what is there was very prominent. So the first goal will be the stage must be perfect from minute 1 to the last minute. First call out until last call out, all the way through. He must be permanently not sweating, having pressure in the muscle and all of that stuff. I think also that issue has to do with the issue. Why is he getting so much, I say it now, provoking, smaller? I think the working with fake muscle is the wrong word, you know. But if you're really using more gear, insulin, and all that stuff, there is so much nutritional uptake and water in the muscle, which
Right.
is actually not right built up tissue.
Right.
And to
Right.
get to a certain leanness and to get to a certain condition, you have to lose that.
Right.
Actually, I'm sure that he didn't lose muscle in that process, but
Right.
there was a lot of air in the muscle,
The volumization of it. Yeah. Yeah.
which just went away.
Right.
So it's also when you really take a look and compare those off-season looks, you see just not even that he has a quite high weight right now. You even see more really tissue, not only blown up thing. You see it when he's walking, when he's moving, when he's turning, doing the transitions, that there is really more solid muscle here. That's the first thing why I believe that he will be more conditioned and especially denser. Because also the discussion from before, he said maybe he could have been more conditioned at the Olympia. I don't think so. He could have had more dense muscle. The condition was, I think, the fat level, the water level, that was everything on point. He did an absolute great job. And I think there are a lot of YouTube videos where I say Regan was, for me, the positive surprise of the 2023 Olympia. Not
Right.
because of the placing, because I didn't think that he will be in such a good condition, water and fat-wise. What is missing to the top level is just some muscle structure and density in the area, which is not necessarily conditioned.
So you're saying basically what you're saying is Regan carries a lot of water in the muscle cell, and so
He
in the
did, and
off
it's
and
getting
so
less and less and less.
I know,
Yes.
I know. But so what I'm saying is, in the off season, people have been, or not even just people, but Regan or anybody looking is, it's almost a misconception of size, and so he's losing that cellular volumization as he gets leaner. Now, can I
And
ask you,
for
how
me,
do you?
and just one more that the people can understand, for me, the personification of that effect was Dennis James.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. So how do you? So how do you fucking deal with a bodybuilder? Like if you're a coach and you have a bodybuilder, you're like, first of all, how do you pinpoint? Well, you're just holding a lot of water in your muscle, and that's why you're that fucking round. How do you know it's not muscle? I mean, with Regan, we know because we've seen years and years and years of his preps. But I'm saying, let's say a guy came to you tomorrow, Ben, and he was like super fucking round, and you're like, I know that's not real tissue. How do you know that? Or you don't know it until you prep him.
The biggest giveaway for me or difference is when I get posing videos of people versus pictures, because then you can see the muscle moving. Like
Right.
it has a different look to it. And when they're getting into the pose and they're contracting, you can just see it differently. If you just take a static, it's only one reference point. It's not dynamic. It's not giving you that 3D as much as you
Right.
can get that through a phone, right?
Right.
Unless you're there in person. If you're there in person, great. But the video and watching an athlete, like they'll put their video on, they'll walk from the tripod up to the screen. Like you can just see everything moving. You can, that's all,
Yeah.
like you're taking all of that in and analyzing the body and the physique.
Yeah.
What
Go
for
ahead.
me also is a big factor, what I like to see is the difference between fasted empty and
End of the
post-training.
night. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
post-training.
Yeah.
There is a huge difference. You know,
Yeah.
real muscle is there even when you get up in the middle of the night with nothing.
Right. Right. I guess that would tell you everything. So basically, when you see a guy like that, you're like, okay, you look amazing, but you need to put on more tissue. Like, it doesn't matter how great you fucking look. Like, we just need more muscle. Now, as he gets more muscle, though, like right now, Regan weighs 303 pounds in that last update I showed. How do you know it's more tissue? How do you know?
Especially like I said
how do you know
before,
it's
and
not?
Ben also said, because of how he moves, how the tissue folds when he moves. Also, I know what we did. You know, we are not filling that full with water or with anything. So his performance always was good. We
Yeah.
dealt very good with the digestive issues. So I'm sure he is a hard worker and his training sessions will be good and his performance goes up and the weight goes up, so it will be muscle.
Yeah, and this was like 303, the last check-in.
Yeah.
And before the prep for Italy, like maybe 20 weeks out to 16 weeks out, I was like 285 in worse condition than I am at 303 here.
Right.
So there's going to be a big difference.
What are you right here? Still around 300?
Probably 3, yeah.
So Regan, you've been, so you've been a pro now for how long? 6, 7 years? Maybe more?
Yeah, 9 years, yeah.
9 years. I remember even as an amateur seeing the potential. Like I remember seeing you do, I think it was like the Ontarios or some shit.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just me. I remember when you turned pro, like I remember Jay Cutler was one of the first people to say like, I think this kid can win the Olympia.
Yeah.
So, and I still see that in your physique. So how does that make you feel moving into like this season, putting on more size? Like, how do you see yourself versus guys like Martin? I mean, the league has changed more in your benefit because
Yeah.
it's more, they're looking more towards aesthetics now. It's not just about mass. So
Yeah.
how do you feel moving into this season working with Stefan? You got a new coach, you have more size, seeing somebody like Martin take fourth. Like, do you feel more positive about the season?
Yeah, big time. I'm really excited. It's a whole different plan, going into the show. And I know, like as we spoke about, how I kind of lose the fat and the muscle at the same time.
Right.
I feel like for every prep, for as long as I could remember, for some reason, I always end up going like such low food, like less than a men's physique guy. Like
Right.
I'll go like around 2,000 calories a day, and
Yeah, I've been
I'll be doing an hour of stairs
there.
in the
Yeah,
morning.
I've been there.
Yeah,
That's
so
not, but that's not crazy. I mean, maybe it is. I mean, Ben and Stefan, you can tell me now. Maybe that's crazy for coaches nowadays, but that was normal. Like you were working with Milos, that was normal
yeah,
for those
oh
kind of
yeah,
guys. Yeah,
yeah,
like that generation of coach, low calories and high cardio is kind of a normal
yeah.
thing.
Same with aceto,
Yeah,
same
yeah, but
super low,
aceto's
like no
also
fat. There's basically zero fat.
yeah.
You
But
know,
I also see Aceto and Milos in the same category of coach, like
yeah,
that generation of coach. Chad, Aceto, Milos, like they all learned in that era, and they all had the same like low food, high cardio.
yeah.
So I
But
don't know.
you got to think like over time. Okay, this 270-pound guy eating 2,000 calories a day. Like, how's that muscle gonna look over
Yeah,
8 weeks of just pounding like your body,
right.
basically? You know.
So Stefan or Ben, have things changed now? Like, are coaches more like the philosophy is different, or is the overarching theory still low calories, high cardio, just do the work?
I think the theory is still you need as low as needed and as much as possible.
Mhm.
You just need to go and you have different mechanism to play with it. I'm very patient in diets. Also, also in first diets, I'm always very patient. I always fear that I pull too much. So I really wait to see how the body reacts. I'm not overreacting of a scale who is standing for 4 or 5 days, 14 weeks out. I don't care about that. So, and I think that could be a little bit the difference that I just wait longer and believe that the body starts to work and that everything is good, that it might be fatigue, that it might be stress, and try to manage those factors more than people did before. I think that's the difference. But still, when it comes to fat which needs to be removed, you need to have a caloric deficit.
I
So
know,
no way going around that.
and I understand that. I just feel like nowadays I hear coaches speak more so about like, I'll hear pros tell me like, I didn't do that much cardio, or I was still eating 3,500 calories,
But
or I was
I also have athletes with doing 1.5 or 2 hours of cardio.
okay,
I
okay,
also have athletes with just eating 2,500 calories with that weight or
right,
something like that for a
right.
short period. But I try to avoid that at any cost.
But wait a
And
minute,
it really a lot of time you can avoid it.
you just said the thing I'm looking for.
Uh-huh.
I think one of the things, and I don't know, listen, I don't want to talk about how coaches do things because I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know how
yeah, sure.
I don't know how all coaches operate.
Uh-huh.
Back in the day, a lot of the coaches would give you a plan and then you wouldn't talk to them for 3, 4, 5, even a week, right?
Mhm.
You just said it's okay to go to 2,500 calories or whatever for a short period of time. Maybe that's the difference, is that maybe coaches in this generation or coaches overall have graduated to a place where you have so much contact with your client that if they are at 2,500 calories, it might only be for a couple days, and
Yeah.
it's not for three or
We're,
4 weeks. It's not for three
we're
or
not
four weeks.
we're not waiting on Polaroids to come via FedEx. You know what I mean?
I'm
Like,
not that old, you fuck. I'm just saying,
no,
like,
no. But I've heard like Asito talking about, or like Chad talking about Ronnie, and Ronnie would FedEx him overnight him
Yeah.
pictures for the next day, right?
right.
So we have that luxury of being able to keep a closer eye on things, I think.
But
So,
I don't even mean because of the timing. I think it was common practice back in the day that like, hey, the body's not going to change that much in 5, 6, 7 days. Here's your plan.
mm,
Go do it and get back to me in a week. Whereas I think the philosophy now is, hey, the body can change a lot in one fucking day. So if we're in a place where your caloric deficit is that low at 2,500 calories, I may need to talk to see pictures every day from you or every other day from you. That way I can make a change back to 3,000 or 3,500 if I have to.
yeah, but that's why contact normally for most people increases inside like what 10 weeks out, maybe,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
wherever you are, just because
Yeah.
then things start getting a little more. The look changes from day to day, and you need to have a closer eye on
But
things.
Regan, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but is that kind of the difference? Like in previous preps, if you were on low calories like that, would you just be on that low calorie for long stretches of time?
Quite long. Yeah. Yeah. I would say.
That's kind of what I'm saying, Ben, is like
Yeah.
maybe with you or with Stefan or somebody else, maybe that low calorie deficit is just a trigger to move things, but you're not going to keep the person there.
Right, yeah, like I would use it as a tool to get a slightly sharper look and then bring them back
Stefan,
again, you know?
how do you think about that? Like, would you leave somebody in that deep a deficit for a long period of time, or is it more of a rotating calorie schedule?
That really depends on the athlete, on the case, on the time schedule, if it's the first show, if it's the last show. Um, there had been situations where you are that low
Yeah.
and you need to keep that because there is still needed fat to drop, and you tried to boost the metabolism with some higher days, it didn't work. You tried to boost it with cardio, it didn't work. You tried to reduce stress, it didn't work. But in the end, the fat needs to go. And
You know
then you
what?
need
Maybe
to then you need to decide, do you pull out or do you try to get the chance to just suffer through?
You know what? Maybe in talking to you guys, I realize maybe I'm just generalizing it too much. Maybe it's very, very specific, and the people I've talked
Yeah,
to
it is.
and the people I've talked to recently are just some of them are more
I
genetically like when I talked to Martin,
Yeah,
Martin's like, yeah, I did 20 minutes of cardio. I started at 4 weeks out because the guy's fucking only needs 8 weeks to get shredded.
yeah.
So like, I
But
guess it
I
just
have a question
depends.
for you, Fuad.
Uh,
Do you probably know, or does anybody of you know, but he is the oldest. How did Ronnie diet? How low did Ronnie go?
Hmm.
well, I don't listen. I don't know because I'm not friends with Ronnie. But if Chad is any indication of Ronnie,
Uh-huh.
in my opinion, the way Chad did things and the way he did things with me, I'm assuming
Mm-hmm.
he did things with other people,
Yeah.
was very extreme to one direction or the other. So, meaning, if you're in the off season, you're gonna fucking eat, and you're gonna eat way more than you need to eat. And if you're dieting, you're gonna diet really fucking hard. Like you're gonna be in a deficit, and then we're gonna refeed you once a week, and you're going to get peeled. And that's how I did things with him, and it worked. And I got really fucking shredded with Chad. Like the most shredded I ever been in my life was with Chad. And but it's an extreme way to do it.
But it
And
could
I
also be just your perspective. Maybe Chet did it also,
listen,
and Ronnie.
that's what I'm
That's
saying.
the question. Yeah.
I can only go by my. But the thing is, I think with Chad, like Chad had his most success with bigger bodybuilders. You know, Nasser, Ronnie, like these guys that were just very heavily muscled bodybuilders. Tom Prince, like some of these guys. So I think the reason that is because he could push them really hard into a deficit and they would still maintain their muscle. And so he could get them extremely shredded because he didn't have to worry about their muscle disappearing. So when
Yeah, for sure.
you know what I mean? So that's why I think that maybe it was the way he did things, maybe not. I can't say for sure.
I mean, Ronnie for sure was on high cardio, right? You go back to all those
Yeah,
videos,
yeah, like
for sure.
yeah. So I mean,
It's an hour on the treadmill in
yeah,
the morning, an hour at night
yeah,
after working as a couple day. Like,
yeah, the cardio thing we know for sure. That's documented in YouTube videos. But the food
yeah.
is my own personal anecdote. I don't know how he coached Ronnie, but
Yeah,
I
and we can't go over the videos because it's just, the Okabe films, they were
No
Okabe films.
clips.
Is that reality?
but I
I
had
have
but
no idea.
I had Chad on my podcast a while back. I'm sure I asked him the question. I could probably go back and look it up. But like I said, I'm just assuming because he did so well with bigger bodybuilders that it was because he was able to drive them into a deficit and them not get small.
But to caveat that from the same era and from the same gym, I've spoken to Branch a bunch of times, and he was telling me he never did much cardio. I know, like, but barely anything, maybe 20 minutes if he had to.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but that was
And
but that
he never took out red meat. He never like you know those little tricks. Like he flew in
yeah,
the
but
face of what Ronnie was doing.
yeah, but that was a George Farah thing at the time. So
Sure, but
Branch,
you know
Ah.
they're still sharing ideas in the gym and whatnot. You
no,
know.
no, no, I know. But what I'm saying is back in the day, you had this philosophy of like Chad was the Hani of the time, right? In like the 2000s because of Ronnie. So the philosophy of the time was what's Chad doing? So a lot of coaches did what Chad was doing. Then came along George Farah. And George Farah was the opposite. George Farah was, I'm not going to have you do a lot of cardio. I'm not going to have you eat a lot of protein. I'm not going to, like, he kind of changed things a little bit. And that's where Branch and Kai started. And Dexter actually was working with George Farah as well. So that kind of shifted things. Be like, oh, you don't need a lot of protein. Then all of a sudden, people started doing 4 to 6 ounces of protein instead of 10 or 12.
I think Branch was high protein from what he was.
I don't know what Branch was doing. I know George used to promote.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what these individual guys was doing. I just know that George used to promote lower protein diets. He wasn't like because where Chad was doing, 10 ounces, 12
14.
ounces. Yeah, like George was more of like a 4, 6, 8 kind of in that range. So, things evolve over time, I guess, and coaches start doing different things.
What
Yeah.
I recognized over the last 2 decades is that how high or low an athlete can diet is really, really connected with the ability how hard you can train.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I
really
also,
plays sometimes a big, big role. How much you can fuck yourself and be nasty to yourself if you really go always balls to the wall. You will be able, or you even must diet with a way higher caloric intake. Otherwise, that won't work.
You know why I think that makes sense? Just my own personal reference in my brain. When I have a really, really intense workout, I'm just hungrier that night.
yeah,
Like that night,
sure.
I just want to eat more, right?
Yeah.
So it's like people can talk about doing cardio and doing this and doing that, but we rarely talk about, hey, if your training session is fucking insane, that also is going to help uh get you there, get you genetically, get you ready condition wise.
And besides the pictures, that's for me in every check-in one of the main things I ask for. How intense and how good is the training? Because actually, even in the prep or in the diet, that's something I always want to be sure that the athletes still be able to have a good performance. Because I
Oh
think
yeah.
that will get a positive impact on the condition, on the density of the muscle, of the fullness. So that's always something which is very important for me. And that's why I always are also afraid of under eating or too much cardio, because that will have a direct impact.
It's a good point you brought up, Stefan, because that's another big difference between coaching philosophies now and coaching philosophies back in the day. Coaching philosophy,
I've got
coaching. Go ahead. Sorry, Ben. Go ahead.
I've got a question for Stefan because it's something that I do, and I'm wondering whether he does. So, in instances where you have athletes that have to go lower calories, right? It's just, you're running out of time. It is what it is. I will scale back their volume in the gym, because now we're just focused in, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, that's rather
Yeah,
than a
but
lot of guys were like,
but
oh,
the
I'm lower
fact,
calories. I've got to push harder in the gym. And I'm like, we still need to
but
preserve the quality of the set.
but maybe you have also seen that those it's funny how some things just correlate. Sometimes those guys who get them low with the calories are complete pure monsters, and you could send them into the gym without any food.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
So also that is a possible
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
I think another big thing for a good prep is, the consistency in the off season and setting yourself up for the prep. So
Yeah.
for instance, like since the Olympia, I've been eating, I think I started around 5,000, but now I eat like 5,200 calories per day. And it's not like I'm adding a pound of fat per week. It's like my body is adjusted to that.
Yeah.
303, 300. And I think now you take a little bit and you'll see a lot happen. I don't
But
know.
I think that's more true for some guys than others.
Okay.
I think, and what I mean by that is this: I think some guys have more trouble losing fat in a contest prep than others. So
Yeah,
I think
sure.
so I think some guys in the off season can get big, maybe even need to get big, maybe even need to put on a little bit of fat to put on that muscle,
Yeah.
and then they can peel it off no problem. So it doesn't affect them at all, right? Like I've never had any problem losing fat. So I could get to 15% body fat in the off season and I could still get shredded.
Yeah.
Would it have been better had I been 12? Probably. I probably would have retained a little bit more muscle in my prep. Who knows? But I think other guys, if they get to 15, they're going to fucking suffer and they're going to lose a lot of muscle getting down to 5%, 4%, 3% body fat, right?
But
So,
it's the same in the off season too. You have some guys that will do a lot of their growing, and then some guys just hit that plateau and you end up feeding them more and they're just going to gain fat. With other guys, you're
yeah,
going to keep feeding them and they're going to keep adding fullness
right,
and keep adding
right.
quality tissue, and they can get away with longer stints of being in an off season and longer stints of growing.
I wonder sometimes the more podcasts I do with various people and the more years that pass in bodybuilding, the more I'm like, I feel like the ultimate solution for off season and pre-contest is always calorie cycling. Like, because some guys, like you said, if they're in the off season, you put them on 5, 6, 7,000 calories, eventually they're going to hit a wall, right? And if you same thing on a diet, you take somebody and you cut their calories, eventually they're going to hit a wall. Whereas if you're cycling their calories, a person's constantly progressing. So it's like, I don't know. How do you feel about stuff, and like, is there calorie?
For me, cycling always has that negative impact, because for me, you might not be meaning it like that. For me, cycling, it always means that the duration of a cycle is giving from outside. So let's say you are doing 3 months that, and then
Oh
two
no,
months that.
no, it's
For
not how
me,
I mean.
yeah,
Yeah,
then it's perfect,
yeah.
because for me, it's very important that it is performance dependent.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like it's performance dependent, but eventually, when you're working with a client long enough, you
Mhm.
know when that's going to happen. So, like, if you work with a client long enough, if
Yeah,
I, you know what I
you
mean?
see it. Yeah,
Not,
you see it, but you
it's not exact. It's not like an
yeah.
exact time. Yeah. But
Uh-huh.
like, for example, okay, if I put Regan on 6,000 calories every single day, he's probably going to last about 2 months. After 2 months, he's probably going to hit a wall. I'm going to have to
Yeah, but for
maybe,
example, in that case, what I love to do, what I really love
yeah,
to do, let's say, okay, you have two, like the example you had, 2 months, bam, 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 bang on the wall. Then I just say, okay, we go one step back,
yep.
and you
That's what,
just eat after appetite for
yeah, that's
one
what I mean.
week.
Yeah,
No
but
plan, no nothing. Just eat
right,
after appetite, and then we see where you stand. And
right,
usually then the performance goes up, the
right.
appetite goes up, and everything is fine again.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right,
then we see it the same. But
yeah.
with cycling, I always think 4 days that, 3 days that, 4 days
No,
that, 3 days that. Not a fan of that.
you know the reason I brought it up, Stefan, is back in the day when I was in my off seasons, I would eat like Ben said, and I would hit a wall, and I would think to
Mhm.
myself, I just got to eat through the wall,
Yeah,
or
that's shit.
I'd even think
Yeah,
to, or I would even think to myself, oh, I got to add more food.
yeah.
So I would make myself uncomfortable. I would make myself sick
Mhm.
trying to eat past the plateau. Whereas like now people I think understand, or a lot of people understand anyway, that sometimes you have to pull back to go back forward. So it's not that thought process is probably more common now than it was 10 years ago. Because people do things like mini cuts and shit like that. That was never a thing before.
But I'm also going to allow our body to do what it wants to do, right? So rather than, okay, we're going to do a 3 month push or off season, then with this into that phase. But if we get to 12 weeks and he's in a good groove and he's healthy and everything is just, I'm like, you're flying, let's not touch shit.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah.
You
exactly.
know, so
Yeah.
you have to
Yeah.
let the body go where it wants to go a lot of times, especially if you're trying to add the tissue. But I
Yeah.
find that a lot of guys are like, oh, I'm going to take a 2 year off season. I'm like, if you're just going to go straight into like a 2 years like off season and try and stay at that intake and input, your body's gonna tap out at some point, and it's at
I have
different
no idea.
timings.
What's your all of you three impression? Is there a time frame you think? Because I think more than 7, 8 months in a caloric surplus, nothing really happens after it.
Yeah.
I would tend to agree with you, except for that I made some very, very good gains going past that. Like there was a time
But how
when I
how old are you though,
But
also?
still
I was
not in total, but after the 7, 8 months, you really felt progression after it?
I got to tell you, there was a period it was probably about 13 or 14 months maybe,
Mhm.
where I didn't me and Hani were working together and he's like, I don't want you to compete this year. So there was a year where I didn't compete and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And I made pretty significant gains that whole time. Now, the difference in that off season versus my other off seasons
Mhm.
was Hani kept me in check. So
Mhm.
I wasn't getting super fucking fat, and I wasn't like he kept me like, hey, we can get a little bit fat. Obviously, we have to put on some muscle, but like you
That'll be
gotta,
the difference.
yeah,
I mean,
and that's
look at Samson, for instance.
yeah.
Like very short off seasons, he has them. But what's the longest off season he's had in the last
Okay,
3 years?
but hold on, Regan.
I
Samson's
know he's a
not.
genetic freak too,
He's
but
not. He's not. Listen, I'm not saying he's a genetic freak in
yeah,
terms of like let's take away his work ethic.
yeah,
Mhm.
He has a tremendous work ethic, but
of course.
I don't think the average bodybuilder can gain the amount of size Samson has gained with with the same
But
No,
pattern.
but I think most people you interview fall into that realm.
What do you mean?
Most of the pros that you sit down with are of the elite of the elite. So
Yes, but
most of them are
yeah,
comparative to the wider bodybuilding population. This
right.
so what Stefan is talking is even more so true.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
look, I don't necessarily disagree. Like I said, I just have that one anecdotal year where I was like, for the most part, Stefan, you would be right. My off seasons were about 7 months, and I'm like, okay,
Mm.
I'm ready to start fucking dieting now.
yeah.
But
I
that
think
one,
that's the biggest thing that
yeah,
you for that period after that 8 months, you were locked in with him. You're checking in probably
yeah,
every week,
yeah,
probably,
yeah, at least, yeah,
and I think that's the biggest thing. Is probably okay after 7 8 months. It's boring. Like you want to compete, so it's just maybe you fall off a little bit, and then you're not making results anymore
yeah,
at all. You
yeah.
know?
No, that makes sense because your mental state will
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
fade as well. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Um, Reagan, I want to go back to the potential question.
yeah.
Do you think where do you think you can place this here? Because look, at 303 pounds, at 6 feet, what are you, 6 feet tall?
6. Yeah, I'm 5'11 3/4. So
I don't think people listen. I don't think people realize like
yeah.
Regan looks big uh in pictures. Okay, like yes, when we look at these photos, he looks big, but I don't think people that haven't been around you understand how big you actually are. Like it's one of those things that like I don't think people understood how big Samson was until he stood next to Rami and he was like comparable.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And I think it's kind of the same thing with you, Regan. And I feel like it's something to do with the aesthetics. Like when guys are more aesthetic, they don't look as big.
Yeah, if my waist was bigger, they'd think I'm bigger, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of like because you're aesthetic in photos, maybe you don't look, but
Yeah.
in person, you're fucking giant. Like you're
Yeah.
very, very wide, very thick. So,
Yeah.
with that being said, how do you feel standing next to Nick or Martin or these guys? Like, it has to feel good. Like if you think about Martin, you're like I'm just as aesthetic as he is.
Yeah.
I'm just as muscular, but I'm taller, so maybe I have a leg up. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like some of these things, like I mean, Martin's got incredible balance too, so he's got that going for
Yeah.
him. But like you have to like, do you play these little games in your mind where you're like, okay, well, Martin placed here, Nick Walker placed there, Hunter placed
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think they obviously these guys are they're very hungry. Obviously I am too, and they found their groove, and I've found mine now too. So I'm really excited for this year. I feel like I can get in the top six. I think I
Who are
can
you
be
gonna?
in
Who you
there.
gonna? Okay, I'm gonna, but I gotta press you.
Uh,
Who
yeah,
who you
but
gonna? Who you gonna beat? Who you gonna beat? Because top six means you're ahead of Raphael.
yeah,
Okay,
uh,
that's fair. That's
yeah,
fair.
for sure.
Well,
Uh,
can you beat Hunter?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Can you beat Andrew?
yeah. I think
Okay.
so. I think so. This
Stefan,
no disrespect either. Of course,
no.
I love these guys. Um, and it's also, you know, and when I say this again, no disrespect, Martin. Like I said, he's found his groove. He's put on a lot of tissue. Geez, he got fourth place, and that's unbelievable. I was really, really like when I saw him, I was like, holy shit, like he's doing really great.
Yeah.
Um, and Samson, of course, he's absolutely exploded. He's number one in the world. But I just see in my vision, like there was a time I beat them in shows, right? Like in 2021, I beat Samson in Egypt.
A lot of people beat Samson though, but that's a different
Yeah,
Samson.
yeah, of course, I know, and same with Martin in 2021, and these
Yeah.
guys have gotten way, way, way bigger.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm also trying to do this too. So
Well,
I got another question real quick.
go ahead.
Who can't you beat?
who can't I beat?
Yeah.
No one. I can beat it. I feel like I can win. I do.
Do you That's interesting.
If we manage to fill out when it comes to Regan, how do I say it in English? His gift is also his disadvantage. So
I think I know where you're going with it. Yeah, go ahead.
his white bone structure,
Yeah.
which is insane. I think from the open pros with his body height also, the bone structure is one of a million.
Right. I'll give you that. Yeah.
He already filled the bone structure in the back. I
Yes.
think everybody will agree Regan's back is outstanding.
World class.
Also his shoulders are very, very good. But we need that back density also in the chest to have
Yes.
the same optical dominance from the front.
Yes.
And we need to get that his adductors and hamstrings are really good from side, from the back. The leg looks incredible. But we also need the dominance from the front.
Yeah.
If you really manage to get the symmetry shifted in that area, that
Yes.
will be a fun game.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree 100% with everything you just said because that's
Yeah.
those are the things that I think everybody sees.
Yeah,
Like,
and I'm not saying I'll beat those people mentioned this year, but I'm saying I can. I really believe.
well, I don't think anybody doesn't think you have the potential to do it.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I think, like I said, when Jay Cutler said it 10 years ago,
yeah,
I think nobody really batted an eye. Everybody kind of agreed. They're like, yeah, he's got the right symmetry. He's got the right, muscularity. He's going to get there. So
yeah.
I don't necessarily disagree with you. I just wonder what you're going to do this year. Because
Mm,
I think people are excited that you've been off for a year and they're like, fuck, he's kind of come
yeah,
back. What's Regan going to do? Right. Because especially now with a new coach, they're like, is he going to get that conditioning that he's always been looking for? Is he going to get that look, the peak that he wants on stage. And if he
Yeah,
does,
but I still want to go to the condition issue. The condition at the Olympia, when we nail that condition, we are on nearly 100%. We need it denser with more pressure in the body.
right.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
condition wasn't at the Olympia.
Well, that's why-
condition was there.
But that's why I said peak.
Okay.
The peak itself has to
Yeah.
be better.
Yeah.
And if that
For
means
sure.
more muscle tissue, well, that's what you've done in the last year. You put on more muscle tissue. So people
Yeah.
are excited to see, hey, what's that going to look like standing next to Nick Walker, right? Because I think for some reason, and I don't know if it's because you guys are around the same age or it's because Nick has, said some shit. I don't know. People seem to compare you, or maybe because you're both like two of the most popular open bodybuilders on earth.
Yeah.
People seem to compare you two a lot, even though you have completely different physiques.
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
So, do you think that your aesthetics can overcome Nick's density and mutant-like physique?
Yeah.
Because are you guys both
So.
competing in Pittsburgh or no?
Not Pittsburgh, but I believe we'll both be doing New York. Yeah.
Are you going to beat him in New York?
Yeah.
I also,
It is. I mean, you'll see Nick at the Cali Pro a week later trying to get his qualification.
You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do?
I did redemption for New York last year.
Wait a minute. Regan, you basically just said he's going to lose Pittsburgh and New York.
Yeah.
Who's he going to lose Pittsburgh to?
Well,
Martin?
who's doing Pittsburgh?
You think is Martin going to beat Nick?
Martin?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Martin, James, William, they're all doing, and Nick, they're all doing Pittsburgh, I think, and then probably other guys too. I don't know.
But Derek's doing it.
Is Derek doing Pittsburgh?
Isn't he? Or maybe it's just Arnold's, right?
No, he's doing the Arnold's.
Oh, okay. And Samson's just doing the Arnold too, right?
Yeah, I think Samson will come. I have it in my urine that Samson will come.
I always thought, for some reason, in my mind that Samson's going to be there.
I think so.
Wait a minute. Samson is going to be there. I'm going to be there with him, but he's not going to be on stage.
Are you sure?
Maybe.
Yes.
Sure?
No,
It's not a rumor.
Guys,
It's not a rumor.
Clip that.
No. Listen, I'm telling you.
Swear to the holy god of gymnastics.
Stefan. I'm going to tell you the truth because we have a tour in Mexico the week before Pittsburgh. We're going to be at the Fit weekend in Mexico.
So your challenge will be to bring him safe to Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Make sure he doesn't get killed. Yeah. We're going to be at the Fit weekend for 2 days, and then we have like store appearances every single day that week, and then we're flying from El Paso to Pittsburgh like the day before Pittsburgh.
So
he'll peak. He'll be fine.
He'll still do it.
I really have a question because that was leading to that.
What?
I don't know. You need to find now the picture. There is a picture where Samson is making the closed most muscular next to Nick. And I need to know from you three what you think.
Where is it? Is it on his page?
I don't know who it posts, but it was going viral.
Ooh.
It's probably
Nick Samson and
just Nick and Samson. Nick now at the end of the off season and Samson from now.
Oh, they put them side by side.
Yeah, they put it side by side.
Check who is the best.
Let me see.
Do comparisons like that.
Let me see. This page does stuff like that sometimes.
And I need to say honestly, I've never seen somebody destroy the other one that much.
Who destroyed who?
Yeah, Samson is in the different.
There it is. Yeah, I mean that's not even comparable.
The fullness difference.
Yeah, guys, it's not even like I've been telling you guys for years. Samson is a fucking freak. Like he's not.
Yeah, and Samson's 6 feet. What is Nick? 5'5"?
This is kind of what I was talking about earlier. People don't realize how big Samson is until they see him in person. Because he's so aesthetic, and like every aesthetic bodybuilder has this problem. Yeah. Listen, same thing with Raphael. People say to Raphael all the time, "Hey, Raphael, you should do classic." The guy's 260 pounds.
It's huge.
Yeah. But because online he's very aesthetic in photos, the size doesn't project the same as it does in real life.
But the point is that's one of Nick's strongest poses.
I know.
That's true.
I know. I mean, the only thing I'll give to Nick in this is that Samson is leaner, so it's
Yeah,
making
for sure.
it's making Nick
Yeah,
look
yeah,
worse.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
make
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Doesn't look like, to be fair too, for Nick, that lighting doesn't look the greatest,
yeah.
but it
I mean,
also
I
looks
think
like
he's
it
at
was
home.
taken
He's
first thing in the
fasted.
morning.
Yeah, if it's fasted Samson's post arm workout, there's
Yeah,
a whole
that's
lot
what
of
I'm
factors
thinking
going on.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you can still see the differences.
Oh
The, ma-
yeah.
the main difference and the one thing that's always held Nick back is the quads. So you see the quad sweep come into the hip, it comes down low on the leg,
Yeah.
and it leaves this gap here.
Mm,
Whereas Samson's leg, the sweep
It's
is
just a full swoop all the way
the
to
sweep
the
the
hip.
sweep is bigger and it goes all the way out into the
Yeah.
hip instead of stopping short, right? So that's
Yeah.
one.
Samson's chest
And
is
then
like
and
3 times as
the
thick.
chest is just, what
yeah,
is that?
His
yeah,
chest is crazy.
Immense.
yeah.
Yeah.
But and
Com-
just to defend Nick a little bit, this is not really a fair comparison.
No, it isn't.
Um,
No.
but that being said, I don't think Nick is ready to beat Samson. I don't know if that will ever happen again.
No. I
Um,
don't.
but what were we saying? So Pittsburgh, you said he's going to lose Pittsburgh. So that means you think he's going to lose to Martin or somebody else. Then
Yeah.
you're going to beat him in New York, and then you
Yeah.
think he's going to get his qualification in California.
He'll have to be on a one-way ticket to Cali.
You know
Yeah.
they're all all the fucking videos are going to be made about this.
I know.
I'm
So-
not counting
But what are
Nick
we
out
doing?
of
What are we
anything.
doing really? If you don't think you can win, what are we doing? You know,
Hey,
like,
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. I mean, look,
Yeah,
and honestly, Regan, if you have put on the tissue and if Stefan can peak you perfectly,
yeah,
I don't see why you can't win.
right. Thank you. Yeah.
So I don't think you're saying anything like completely like outrageous.
Yeah,
It is interesting because like Nick's strong from the back, right? Which you are too, but it's a very different kind of strength. It's a very different look. It's really interesting.
To me and Ben, I'm curious what your opinion is because you're always very blunt with this kind of shit. Do you think? I think Regan's back, like neck to heels, might be the best in bodybuilding.
Best in the world, the best in the world. Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Yeah,
because he compares with say the likes of
Like if the conditioning,
Derek
like,
and Blessing in terms of their upper back, he's as good if not better. But in the lower body, he's more complete than they are too.
well,
Oh, thank you.
his hamstrings are better than Derek's.
Yeah, he's way more.
Yeah,
That's what I mean. He has like one of the best backs in the world has got to be Derek, right?
yeah, but that's only
Like
from
the actual back, the back.
Yeah, the
The
back,
lats, the back and lats.
Yeah.
I prefer Regan's. I think they're
Yeah.
bigger, rounder. He has a bigger frame anyway. And then if
Yeah.
you take into the lower body into account, he kills it.
That's why I keep saying you just got to
Thank
get
you,
Derek.
yes.
You just got to get
Yeah.
Derek's peak because if you get Derek's
Yeah.
peak with that world class
I
back,
really think we haven't seen that yet.
yeah, I don't think so
Right?
either.
Yeah.
I don't think so either.
That's why
Okay.
we got the boss this year. Right?
But
I just take a look at the last check-in and analyzing it.
he's getting nervous. He's like, oh, I better bring him in.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Regan, I want to get your opinion on the Arnold. I have this. I built out a website. Well,
Yeah.
I didn't do it. I had someone build out a website.
Yeah, I built that.
In my spare time, I built out a website.
And if you want also one, here is my name, my email.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah. Okay, so
Call
is
me Elan
Yeah,
Abiad.
this is the realbodybuildingpodcast.com is the website. It's going to be available to everybody soon, but for now, it's available to just podcast members. So I got you plugged in here.
Okay.
I got you down here, Regan. Stefan, these are your picks. I need 11 and 12. I added 2 more rows. I don't know who you think 11 and 12 are going to be, but Regan, these are all the guys competing at the Arnold here,
Okay.
and I need your top 12.
Hey,
Wow.
can I delay this for real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go to Patrick's Instagram real quick for me
Okay, 1 second.
because this is relevant.
Of course it is.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Everybody has more information now.
Well, we get to adjust, Stefan. We can adjust now. We can tweak.
Oh, I wanted to cover James too because James posted an update that I really liked. Okay, we're looking at Carlos. Is this what you wanted to look at, Ben?
Yeah, that just popped up.
He's starting to get harder. Okay.
Yeah, but you know, that's a lightning filter pick.
Okay,
you
hold
know.
on a minute. Hold on a minute. I want to ask you something, Ben, just because I know you're partial to Patrick. So I want to
Yeah.
ask your honest opinion. So yes, I see
Go
some
on.
I see some hardness through the chest, some hardness. The skin looks a little thinner on the abs. Blah blah blah. The one thing that it keeps throwing me off is I just don't know how deep these lines are going to get. Like we're 5 weeks out, and I'm waiting for these lines to get deeper. But he has
What
so
is
much.
that in the photo? Like,
But he has so much muscle. I just don't know how deep these lines can get.
yeah.
I have no idea.
We haven't seen them like deep yet, right? But if they did get deep,
I haven't
All right.
seen him this hard.
All right, let
Like,
me
no,
let me ask you guys this. So look at
Yeah,
this.
but that's a posing room shadow lightning. Yes.
yeah.
The front double is just crazy nuts and insane.
I actually
No,
think that
no discussion about that. But the lat spread also shows his flaws and his very big muscle group compared to
yeah.
very lacking muscle groups to that.
Yeah, the front double is probably his best pose. Like this is pretty fucking wild.
Insane.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys,
Insane.
looking at this. If we're looking at this and then we go back to the page, who does he beat here? He doesn't beat Samson. He doesn't beat Derek. He doesn't beat Andrew.
I stay with my tips.
Stefan.
It's
What
so,
Stefan?
it's
You
so
have
hard.
you have Carlos in 7th. That's a horrible pick.
Yeah, Brandon Curry. How did you put Brandon?
We have to bet on
Ah,
this.
fuck. Brandon
think-
looks good too.
Stefan, you have to.
There's
I
a lot
got
of
it.
good
You
guys
know,
in that lineup. That's hard.
My wife said I'm not allowed to do any fucking bets with you anymore. Otherwise she will need much
Yeah.
more of those.
Okay, let's go back. Okay, Regan, what do you want to do?
Oh
Who-
man.
Who's gonna win?
Samson,
Okay, second.
Derek.
Okay,
Hmm. Frig, man. This is hard.
come on.
It is. They are all so good. That's really I think that's one of the Arnolds with the most complete field.
Yeah.
Because it's really fucking stacked.
Yeah. Put man, like you got Brandon in 8th? Like I don't know.
Stefan's hard on some motherfuckers, man. Stefan thinks Sean Clarita is gonna beat Brandon Curry.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, look,
You think so?
he's
Well,
got-
sorry.
he's got
I
him in
don't know.
6th. He's got him in 6th.
I'm completely brutal.
But let me tell you something though, Regan. You can't listen to Stefan's picks because he did this at the Olympia. He always puts his guys higher. See, James is
Yeah,
3rd.
but I was right.
No, you
were
weren't
all
right. No, you weren't right.
With Martin, I was super right.
You were right. You were right with one guy.
With William, I was quite right.
Wait, how do I get to the past? How do I get to past?
You
Past-
should know you programmed it.
Past results, Mr. Olympia.
It's your webpage.
Wait, results. Your results.
Predictions?
Yeah, let's see. Where was Stefan? Stefan, this is where you.
Yeah, because your point system was
13. You're 13.
Yeah, but go on it, then you will see that your point system was just shit.
No, it wasn't. What are you
Yeah,
talking
is it
about?
flawed?
Your picks were bad. You put Raphael in 10th. You put Foda because he was your guy.
Yeah,
in
Bonnack
ninth.
was 7th, and here he is 6th.
Yeah,
Fitzwater was
Foda-
4th.
Foda was 14th.
Yeah, okay, that was the only
But
mistake.
you put him in 9th because he was
Yeah,
your
that
guy.
was the only mistake. Martin was 4th, not 5th, and
But that's
William
fair.
was
That's
7th,
fair
not
to do
6th.
that.
Yeah, but look at it. You put Samson in 4th. This is horrible picks. These are horrible picks.
It was not horrible,
Listen, you're 13th place. They can't be good picks.
but but I didn't pick my people better than the rest. That's the point.
That's not true. You have Foda.
Just Foda.
And you put Martin and Bonac 5, 6.
Yeah, and Martin was 7th.
Andrew
was
Andrew
fourth.
ahead of Samson.
And you put Andrew ahead of Samson.
Martin was 4th, and William was 7th.
Yeah, okay, those are pretty good. The
Yeah.
photo one throws me off though.
Yeah, just one mistake.
That's
but
where yeah, I guess that's where
Yeah.
we
It's
saw.
all it takes in this game. One mistake.
Yeah.
Tough
Yeah.
business.
Okay. Well, you're 13th place in the last one, so you're gonna have to do something to do better.
You always have your motherfucking insider informations.
No, I
Well,
don't.
hey,
And you
it's
know
very
that
rare
the
that-
funny thing is, in the end, then he does his point system that he is the winner.
That's not true.
I'm going to do something very rare and defend Fouad here, but between the two of you, you have direct influence over some competitors in the lineup, and Fouad doesn't.
That's true.
So-
You have more
Yeah, but
inside
I
information
picked
than I do.
I picked mine quite good, but I fucked all the others.
Okay, let's start over. Regan,
Okay.
Samson, Derek.
Goodness. Okay. Who's next?
I don't know. It's right here. These are the guys.
Yeah, I see it. I see.
Do you want to see somebody? Some
Let
other
me put
picks?
Andrew there. Let me put Andrew.
Okay, Andrew.
And then let me put who's next? Clarita.
Really?
Ahead of Brandon.
And William and
Fuck.
James.
Shit, no. Brandon. Okay, then we got Andrew. Okay, put Brandon 4, Sean. Fuck. But
Brandon.
then what about James? Like,
I don't know, dude. Come on, spit him out.
okay, Andrew, Brandon, James, Carlos, Sean,
One ahead of William. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
William.
I saw that too. Crazy.
Yeah.
You got John De La Rosa. You got Akeem.
Can you
got...
switch easily or no?
Yeah. Yeah. What do you want to
Can
say?
William
he
go?
he programmed it.
I programmed it. I can do anything.
Did William go after James?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Who do you want 8 then?
Oh,
Carlos?
that's really cool how you did it.
Yeah. You see what I did there?
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're a good programmer.
Hey man, I took it in school. I know what I'm doing.
So who do I have left here? Patrick and who's
Patrick, Akeem, John De La Rosa, Justin Rodriguez.
Um,
You want some help? I think I would put Akeem somewhere.
team next.
Yeah.
Oh man, John De La Rosa. Holy shit.
John or Akeem?
John,
Mhm.
Oh, tough one. Holy shit.
then Akeem.
But John did beat Akeem last year. I think somebody told me John wasn't doing the show anymore. Is that
Oh,
true?
really?
Yeah, somebody said he was out of the Arnold, but I didn't see anything official, so I don't know if that's
Oh,
true
no
or
way.
not. 11 and 12. And also, Stefan, you got to do 11 and 12.
Who do I got left? Patrick and
You got Patrick and Justin Rodriguez.
Who is missing with me? Then I do 11. If he does it, John and Justin on 12.
I'll put Justin and Patrick, but just because how the last shows have gone, you know.
Okay. Ben,
Has
you want to
anyone more information about the Patrick Moore I beat them up situation?
Oh man, I watched
Yeah,
a
I saw
video.
that.
I watched the video from Ivan bodybuilding.
Mhm.
I don't know what's true and what's not. So I kind of hate talking about people's like dirt because we don't know what's real and what isn't.
Yeah.
So the story supposedly goes Patrick owed the gym money and he wasn't paying. So
Uh-huh.
I think somehow it ended up in a fight. But
What,
I don't even know.
$50 membership. What a membership fee?
No, it was like apparently because Patrick trains people there.
Oh,
And he was supposed to be paying for the people that he trained, but then
trainer fee.
Patrick's story is that they had an agreement that he didn't have to pay because he was bringing people to the gym and they were going to sign up for memberships, so he
Right.
didn't have to pay the rental fee or whatever the fuck you call it for a personal trainer.
Right.
So I don't know what the fucking truth is. I don't know. I saw the
The
fight.
most important thing is everybody okay?
I think
Is
so. Yeah.
anybody injured? Yeah, then it's
I mean, it was
Patrick's a
almost,
That's
bad
most
person to
important.
pick a fight with though, because he used to like box at a pretty high level. So then you got a big dude. Like Patrick's handy from what I understand. You don't want to.
Yeah,
yeah,
it looked
but
like he went at Patrick first by the
if
looks
you
of it,
if you
right?
watch if you watch the fight, it's actually pretty even until until the last shot where Patrick gets him with a good right hand.
Yeah.
Um, and then the other guy's buddy jumps in, which that probably was the difference maker because who
You
knows
know,
what Pat,
because 5 weeks out, fighting with low water, that's always an issue. Can easily snap something. I have a
True.
friend who snapped his biceps because he was
yeah,
hitting a policeman.
yeah, yeah.
No way.
There are guys. Yeah, no, there are guys that tear a bicep tear when hitting the bag is actually a really
Yes.
normal thing.
Yeah.
It's a common thing. Yeah. Well,
Just because
anyway,
the speed of it, I guess,
I think the speed and the power, like when you
we're
connect, I
not
don't
used to
know,
that.
but
Yeah.
like I said, I hate talking about like dirt like that on the podcast, so I don't want to get into it too much. But I don't know what the truth is. I don't know if it's Patrick's fault, if it's not Patrick's fault. I don't know. I like Patrick. I think he's a good guy. I don't know if
You're gonna send in one of your little baseball bat key rings.
yeah. Ben, do you want to make any
Yes,
changes while we're here?
plenty, but I might
Okay.
not.
Okay, let's go back here. Ben,
I
where
want
is
to
it?
see your picks, Fouad. Where's yours?
Okay, Ben, you got to. We'll go up to mine in a second. We'll go back. The last two, Ben. You got to pick these last two as well. So Samson,
Uh,
Derek, Andrew, Carlos, James.
I'd like to move Brandon if I can, but
Where do you
I'm
want to move
not.
him? Where do you want to move him?
I'm gonna put him 5. Move everyone else down one. That's annoying for you, and fuck it, don't matter. I
Brand,
don't.
James. Would you shut up? John, William. Okay, like that. Is that what you want?
Yeah, yeah. Why
Brandon,
not? I'd like to put Derek and Andrew flip flop them as well, 2 and 3.
Derek and Andrew. Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay.
And then
Interesting.
Really?
That's aggressive.
Yeah.
I'm going big. I'm going all in. And then
All in.
I might just put all the black guys at the top. Just like
I
all
was
of
thinking
them.
that it looked to me that's what was happening.
I'm
I was
just gonna
like,
start just moving them right up. Sean Akeem,
put
we're all gonna go. James can come down.
just put
John,
Derek in ninth.
yeah, yeah. Okay, do it. Do that then. Put Derek in ninth.
No,
No,
shut up.
and then Patrick, Justin.
I'm surprised you have John ahead of William. Patrick and
I am
Justin.
too.
Patrick and Justin down here.
Yeah. I think of fair reflection would have John in ninth, Bonak Akeem, John.
You put Patrick in front of Justin. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Bonak, Akeem, and John. Is that how you want it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my thinking on Patrick ahead of Justin is one. I like how Patrick. I like how he worked with Chris because I was like I saw some of that from semi close, and I think they work well together. And that's when he
Yeah.
looked his best in my eyes. So I'm interested to see how they come together.
Yeah.
Justin, I feel like we saw him in Detroit, and I don't know if he can bring back what he used to have.
Who does Justin work with now?
I don't
I
know
don't know.
actually.
No idea.
No.
I don't know, but the last time he looked like his arms and legs are downsized, and his midsection was a little bigger, and I'm not sure he can. If he can fix that, I hope so, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Because he was really good at a point.
These are
At 21, he was like 20. Yeah, it was
Did
20,
he
20,
win the
21,
New
he was
York
really
Pro
good.
or was second?
I think second. I don't
Regan.
think-
These are my picks here.
Okay. Samson, Derek,
Samson, Derek, Andrew, Brandon,
Andrew,
William, James,
Brandon, William,
Akeem,
James, Hakeem.
Carlos,
Carlos is a
John.
little bit of a dark horse, I feel. We don't really know.
Yeah, he is. He can be super on top,
Or he'll be right there where you have him.
yeah, or going through. We will see.
Yeah.
Sean Clarita is
right.
a tough one for me too.
Sean is tough too.
I got him in 10th, but I mean, fuck, he could beat John or Carlos or even Akeem.
The thing is, Sean's going to be full blown by the looks of it, and maybe the most complete he's been in a long time. I think.
I know. I could see Sean being closer to like 6, 7, but I don't know.
You
It's
have
tough.
seen that little post-workout video?
Yeah.
Which
He
one?
posted.
Sean?
Uh-huh.
Man, he's
Yeah,
so
he's-
full.
Yeah, he looks like a fucking freak.
Last week that was mind
Yeah.
blowing.
Looks wild,
Yeah.
man. He looks wild.
Still
He
not
just
on
looks
diet,
so the muscle, everything just looks so much healthier. He looks so much.
but still not on diet.
Yeah. Wow.
Um.
I've
Apparently, John's out the Arnold. It said like there's a bunch of people saying that.
Oh yeah, there is.
for sure. Or
There's
Yeah.
people.
There's too many. I guess if
Yeah,
we're
the
gonna take the popular opinion.
No, people in the chat. This guy says De La Rosa's out. El Swaz El Eli Sawi is in. El Sawi. I don't know who that is.
Oh, solid.
Sounds like you should know.
He's Arab. I keep tab on all Arabs, Ben.
They're in the Rolodex.
Check the Arnold website for your FYI for your predictions. Okay, so we'll assume John's not in. Just in
I think
case.
the Arnold should check our website for the predictions. Or
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's Brian Clare leaves a super chat. He says, I forgot to add the damn message last chat. Would you consider doing open versus classic guys just for the fun at the Detroit Pro? No prize, just for fun? I'm not sure who he's talking about.
What?
That's what I
was.
I was suggesting this to you guys a while back of doing an overall pose down and letting the fans vote between the open guy and the classic winner.
Yeah, I thought, you know what? I do remember you saying that, and I think it's a great idea. The problem is I don't know how to get the audience to be able to vote. Like the logistics.
You seem to be good at programming, so I think you could come up
I could just, you know what? That's right, Regan. I'll program it into an app. You're a fucking asshole.
No, I think we should do that. Well, I think if it's possible, we should do like especially if it's getting streamed, you can do like an online vote on YouTube, can't you? Like
I could probably do
someone.
I could probably do a poll.
Poll just on IG.
I could do a poll on my YouTube channel
or
on the live stream.
Well, because the live stream is going to be on my YouTube channel.
Yeah,
we got to do that. That'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, because we're going to do a free live stream for Detroit on my YouTube channel, so people can just watch it there for free and not have to worry about it. So we can do a poll there for between the classic guy and the open winner. Who's going to win the open at our show?
Who's all doing it?
Well, so far we have James, William.
Wait, William? I didn't know William.
I haven't
Why
announced
did I not
it.
know William?
I haven't 100% announced it yet.
Yes. Fucking William's there.
Well,
That's
Stefan said last week on the podcast that you were away last week.
He wants to do a lot of shows, right?
Stefan said
just wants to compete.
Yeah.
Nice. So he said he was going to do it. So I messaged William to ask him if I could make it public, and he said, "Yeah, no problem." So I was going to announce it this week, but William, James, Ron Gordon, Aaron Gawley,
Sassarati.
Oh, Sassan is doing it.
How is Ron Gordon? Ron Gordon. I've seen him in the gym before. I've never seen him live competing, but then I always wonder like how he didn't place better because he looks crazy on Instagram and like in person, he's very wide.
Regan, I can almost apply the same with you and what Stefan said. Like he just needs more on that frame. He's massive. He's a big dude. He needs more tissue. He came in peeled. He won the most conditioned award in Detroit last year. He was
where is he missing? Is it legs? Is it
legs? He's so tall, right? Because he's like
he's very tall. He must be 6'2".
I gotta say he's got to be 6'2". So his legs have nice shape. They're just because he's so tall, they're a little bit straight.
Okay. Whom are you talking about?
Ron Gordon. I'll bring him up right now, Stefan.
Show me, please.
Very round.
He's got a crazy back on him. His back is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And he comes in really conditioned, really nice condition.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think he works with Psycho. He trains with Psycho.
So
Cito and I think.
This is Ron Gordon. RPG. We'll go to his page. Look how big this fucking guy is.
Very round, like
he's a fucking giant, and he
looks like he could be winning. You know, like
he's got a beautiful physique. Like
Oh yes.
Yeah. His back is find a thing.
And can
He
I
has
tell
a
you?
man. He
Can
has
I
a
tell?
man physique
Can I tell you?
midsection.
Can I tell you
Yeah.
This
something?
was Detroit last year.
Can I tell you something? He's actually one of the most polite and well-spoken guys I've ever met. It's crazy.
Huh.
He's like this giant, and he's super fucking nice.
He's from Detroit too, right?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
originally.
Look at this back, man.
What is RBG meaning?
Ron,
It's his
Well,
initials.
I don't know what the
Ron
P
Floyd
is.
Gordon.
I don't know what the P is for, but I'm assuming Ron Gordon, something in the
Ron
middle. I don't know.
something
Ah,
Gordon.
okay.
I think he's a dark horse. Honestly, he's
Oh, look,
Yeah.
really good.
if he can bring
Look
up
at
the
this one
legs,
there, the side chest.
look at that.
Look at that. That was last year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Where's the side chest you're talking about,
Up,
Regan?
right there. Yeah.
Here?
Yeah, like look at the bicep. Like,
I know. Yeah, he's crazy.
what the hell?
He's got great
No,
arms.
I'm mostly impressed by his perfect waist.
His
Yeah.
waist is tiny, yeah.
It's
What the
nothing.
fuck?
Yeah.
I think that's also the reason why that
This
back
is-
looks so
this is-
crazy.
So,
you know?
Regan, remember you asked me before? This is what it
Yeah.
is. He's got a little bit of a long torso,
Right.
and then his legs don't sweep till like halfway down.
I see.
You see
Yeah.
how the lateralis inserts like right here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's got a little bit of
He's
a
got
long.
his quads
Yeah.
are actually a good size down by the knee.
Yeah,
Like,
so it's like there's a long line here which feels like there's a gap,
yeah.
but
I
if
think
you-
he's dangerous, man.
yeah, if
Really
you
do.
Mhm.
yeah, he could be really really good. He's got he's very impressive in person because he's so fucking big.
Yeah, he's huge.
Great arms. His arms, the second thickness in his bicep.
Do you
Jesus.
have a comparison picture for me from last
Uh,
year?
I think
We
there was
still
one
put
back
Martin.
double biceps.
Because I want to see when he stands next to each other. Because of that small waist,
Yeah.
then he looks bigger, and I want to see when he stands next to someone.
Did he get side by side with Martin last year? I don't think they had a look at
Must
him. He
be.
got
yeah,
he
yeah,
got
they
third. He got third.
He was third. Really? I didn't know that.
well, we didn't
Yeah,
have we didn't have a very very big show. We had 6 guys at the show.
Right. Okay.
6 open competitors. So there he is.
Here he is.
Oh no, it's Justin.
No, that's Justin.
Sorry. I don't think I have a shot with them together, man. Fuck.
Yeah.
There he is by himself.
Mhm.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
Yeah, it's just this line becomes very long.
Yeah, he looks very straight.
Huh.
It's a beautiful physique. It just needs a little bit more roundness to it.
Great stage.
Yeah, the lighting at the
Because-
show.
So small there, like when he does the front lat spread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we just saw it. What does anybody know what Vito is doing?
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
This is something
Vito
I
is
want.
Pittsburgh. Ah,
Pittsburgh. I want to address this
Okay.
really quickly. And I'm not gonna. I don't mean to call anybody out,
no.
but it's more. This is more for any pros or amateurs coming up that are listening to this. Vito doesn't want to do Pittsburgh because he felt like me being friends with Martin is what tipped the scales in Detroit. I just want to make this very clear to people. This is across the board. This is not just me. Promoters have absolutely no say.
Yeah.
Zero.
Nothing.
Zero.
0.0.
They have absolutely zero to do with judging. Like Tyler, Tyler was the head judge, so obviously he has his own integrity to worry about. Jack was also there. Jack Sullivan, who's also a veteran
Great
judge. Yeah, veteran judge. So
Yeah.
these guys have no like, and Martin wasn't signed with us at the time either. So it wasn't
No.
like, you know what I mean? So there was really, I knew Martin and we were friends, but like, it's irrelevant. The promoters have zero connection. And it's the same thing when people say this about, I hear them say this about Arnold, like, well, Arnold wants Cedric to win. That's why Cedric won. No, Arnold likes Cedric's physique, yes, but even Arnold, the very top, doesn't have any say over what the judges do and who they pick.
Yeah.
So I just want to make that very, very clear so people don't go, oh, I don't want to do that show because, Fouad or Ben or Paul are friends with this guy or that guy. The other misconception that people had was that Paul is a judge and that Paul is going to do whatever I want him to do or whatever he's friends.
But actually, we all know who does the decision, and that's the head judge.
Well, but that's number one. But number two, I just want to make this clear as well.
Yeah.
the promoter of a show can't also be the judge. So Paul is not judging Detroit.
Right. Yeah.
He's, you know what I mean? So there's absolutely like, look, me, Ben, and Paul go to very great lengths to make sure that there's no impropriety with
Oh, yeah.
with competitors, with the show, with anything. Like, we want it to be as fair and open, no matter if it's a
You know,
hostile
I'm now,
athlete
I
or,
just need to say something to that because
yeah,
I'm now really in the business for quite long. And most probably I'm the guy who has been in most shows of all of us.
sure, I agree.
And you won't imagine how often promoters are fucked up because of the placing and they would have preferred another one,
Yeah,
Right.
but they just have nothing to do with it.
Nothing.
Just
Nothing.
zero.
nothing.
Yeah.
Zero. I will never
Zero.
forget the Portugal show. I think it was 2020 or 21 when Joao really said, I would have judged totally different and I still don't understand it.
Yeah, yeah,
And that was not the only time. They really have no influence at all.
yeah. Guys, I just want to go back to Detroit real quick because we were talking about it. Ron Gordon, Sasan is doing the show,
Okay.
That's
and
interesting.
Justin Wyatt's making his pro debut
Oh,
at the show
nice.
too. He's thick as fuck, by the way. He looks really good right now.
Wow.
And then Carlos is going to be there.
Right.
And James is competing.
William.
So far we got James, Carlos, Justin Wyatt, Ron Gordon, Sasan, Aaron Gawley, and William Bonac. So it's shaping up to be a pretty good fucking show.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then obviously Samson's going to be there. So anybody who wants to show up and meet the man himself.
And the backdrop, is it black again? Is it?
Yes.
See, that's the greatest thing, man.
We have Gilco doing photo video, so it's going to be 8K fucking out of this world live
I wish
stream.
that was the standard for shows, but
You know what?
Well,
you know what?
if you thought that, you should have just done it, mate. I don't know.
yeah.
You still can,
Then you'd
Regan.
have-
If you you got 9 weeks, you can get ready. You know what, Regan? I think we're lucky because it's a smaller show, so we're only doing bodybuilding classic.
Okay. Yeah.
So we don't have to. We can make it more intimate. Like when you're in the audience, it's funny when you're in the audience because we have like a nice theater.
Yeah.
When you're in the auditorium, you feel like you're really at an old school bodybuilding show. Like
You're
it's
all
you.
like hanging out.
Yeah, you're right, but you're right
Yeah.
there. You feel like
Yeah.
you're right there, right? It's like it's a very
Cool.
intimate setting, and I feel like because we don't have all the classes and all the sponsors and all the, I can just do whatever. Like we can just do whatever we want. You know what? We want to have a
Yeah.
black backdrop. That's what we're doing.
That's sweet.
So yeah, so it's we
Because
might,
that's what we often hear actually. They say, okay, no, we can't do the black one because the sponsors need to be seen on the pictures, and that's the
Well,
reason. And
like put them on the
Just-
side or something.
but
like,
I gotta give Dan Solomon a little bit of credit because look, I was even one of the people that has been saying like, oh, black backdrop, whatever, right? And that's why we did it at our show because I want to put like we want to put like our standard in practice.
Yeah, you're a bodybuilder.
But I remember there was somebody at the press conference or somebody at I think it was a meet and greet or something asked Dan Solomon about all the lights on stage and why can't it just be black and why does it have to be so crazy? And he had just a really good answer. And I'm obviously paraphrasing. I'm going to totally butcher the fucking answer, but basically he was like, "Hey, this is the fucking Super Bowl. This is not some small show in the middle of the year. This is the biggest show of the year. It's an extravaganza. It's a fucking event, and it's not just about the physiques. It's about the entire experience." And so, kind of like when he phrased it, obviously he phrased it better. But when you hear him talk about it, you're like, you know what? That kind of makes sense. It's the biggest show in bodybuilding. You can't just be like, yeah, put a black curtain up.
Yeah.
But actually, I like the Arnold's backdrop. Or the backdrop. How the Arnold
It was pretty
stage,
cool.
the back is done. That's quite good for pictures and good for over. I think that's a good compromise.
Yeah.
But
I was at the Olympia this year, and I thought it was fine. Like when you're sitting in the Olympia or the Arnold, I kind of don't want a black backdrop. Like it looks so fucking.
At the Olympia, I had the problem that I got blinded approximately 10 times by that fucking laser pointer.
Yeah. I know what you mean. But you know, the one thing I will say is like when I was competing at the Arnold, they would do the black backdrop, like the black curtain for prejudging.
Mm.
Yeah,
And then at the night show, they would do the whole like extravagant fucking thing. That I think is probably the best compromise
yeah.
because then you have the best of both worlds. So, all right,
Who's winning this battle between Mike and Wesley? How are they doing?
Summerfield and Wesley.
Yeah,
You know, it will really at the Olympia, and we discussed it a lot of time. At
yeah.
the Olympia, the situation for Wesley was a little bit different. When in the morning, I would say he was even a little bit fuller than he was at the Arnold's with the same condition. The first time he came out, everything was quite fine.
Uh-huh.
But then you have that 70 competitors or 75 competitors, you know? And it was the first time Wesley really had that favorite that role, you know? At the Arnold's, there are 10 competitors. You go out, and 3 minutes later, you go out again.
Right.
At the
Yeah.
Arnold's, I also was backstage. So I was there. And for example, at the Arnold's UK, I needed to shout at him and tell him, Wesley, energy, full speed, let's go. You are there, you own the thing. But at
Right.
the Olympia, you know, you go off the stage, you see all the others backstage, pumping, going out, hear the people cheer and all that stuff. And you know, what nobody can control is the loss of fullness due to the increase of cortisol. You
Right.
could eat backstage like a motherfucking idiot. Just your stomach will stand. But
Yeah.
no, so I think it's one part was a little bit that psychological situation. And the second reason was at the Arnold's, we don't have that many glute and hamstring monsters. And
Right.
glute and hamstring is Wesley's weakness. So
Right.
when you stand on stage and there are 30 people with brilliant glutes and hamstrings, and you are the only one which has it not, but in every other point you are very good.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bigger problem than in a show. The half of the others also doesn't have it, but you have it very, very good. So the competitive field made his mistakes a little bit more visible at the Olympia. And that compared with fading a little bit in the fullness made the placing how it was to be. And we really tried to pull every little trick and every little trigger that at the Arnold, it goes in the opposite direction because I still believe he can beat Mike because Mike, as he walked out at the Olympia, I immediately saw he will be a threat. It was by far the best Mike ever. And Mike usually always has a little bit problems nailing it. He
Yeah.
has, I would say, a 30% ratio until now that he nailed it or not. When he
Yeah.
keeps nailing it that way, he's super, 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 super dangerous. But when we are able to correct everything which was not perfect at the Olympia, Wesley is the same dangerous and can beat him. So
Let me, Stefan, let me ask you this because Wesley
uh-huh.
put up a video and said his legs have grown. Have his legs grown? Because I don't believe it.
His legs, his glutes and hamstrings are a little bit more dense. You know,
Okay.
it's just a time thing. But it's also unfair to talk about his legs because take a look from the front.
Hey, I'm only talking about his legs because he's
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about his
yeah.
legs.
No, no.
He said it.
From the front, great. From the
Yeah.
side, not, and from the back, we have that density issues in
Yeah.
glutes and
No,
hamstring
no,
Is
area.
it
So that's
no,
where we need to
no.
work.
adductors? The center? It's the
Adductors,
center,
hams, and
right?
glutes.
He can't spread very wide. He
Because
has
the adductor is not that impressive, but mostly the glute tissue is missing.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me
Yeah.
you think his quads are great?
His quads are good,
Not great.
good enough for all the others.
Do you think his quads are good enough to win?
Yes. When it comes just to the quads, yes.
I don't know if I agree.
Make a picture.
Okay, let me rephrase. Let me make a picture.
Do
Let me-
a picture and we just talk, don't forget we
let
just
me
talk
rephrase.
about the quads.
Let me rephrase real quickly.
Okay.
How about if I change the phrase from quads to legs from the front?
Yes,
They're still great.
they are still good enough.
Eh, I don't know.
It's such
I
a
think
funny thing because Mike looks like
What are you laughing at, Ben? What are you laughing at, Ben?
It's just like you said a million things with meh.
Listen, I had Wesley on the podcast. I love him. I think he's a great guy.
Open the picture.
I'm gonna hold on a minute. I think he's a great guy. I think he's got a lot of muscle in his quads. The shape of his quads, I feel like, are holding him back. And even he will tell you that, because that's why he's making videos saying my legs are better, because he knows that's the part that's not where
but it's not the quad.
it's the legs from the front. I rephrased it.
No,
Mike-
the legs
Mike-
from the
Mike's
back
like-
and the legs from the side hold him up. Not
You
from
got
the
him
front.
angry.
Take out
He's
the picture.
fucking.
Yeah.
No, first
Squeeze
of all,
that thing.
put down your dildo. Put down your dildo for a second.
It's not a dildo. It's a rope. It's gonna be a butterfly soon.
You know what it is? Look, if you took a picture of
Take the picture.
just hold on a minute. Just hold on a minute. If you took a picture of just his waist down, the legs look amazing. But because his shoulders are so wide, it leaves something to be desired balance-wise.
He looks more like Arnold.
Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
Like
the picture.
That's what's weird, because you got Mike, who looks like more of a mini bodybuilder with
Yes.
a small waist.
Yes, I
And then
agree.
you
Do
got
not-
Wesley,
do-
who really looks classic. Like
do not a single one. Do a comparison picture, not standing alone.
Compared to who?
Yeah, to Mike or Urs, Ramon,
Let me,
something of that.
2024.
he has a lot of lines in his legs, though.
Yeah, it is. They are super deep also.
You got to
No.
give him that.
But it's the
think
symmetry from the. I see what's Fred saying. It's the symmetry between his upper body and the.
yeah,
and
you
the
guys
lower
are
body.
you guys are missing the point. You can't look at a body part in a vacuum. If I'm looking at it in a vacuum and I'm looking at just his quads, yes, they're incredible. But if I'm looking at
the comparison pictures.
such an asshole. Okay, here we go. Okay, he's not in that. Let me see. Where's Wesley?
Probably we will need a shot from the Arnolds where he is not. So here we have the picture. So also
That's from the-
compared to Ramon, you know, in
Yeah,
that specific
but
picture.
listen, if okay, I'm not a judge,
Okay.
but I think Ramon's physique is nicer.
No, we are just talking now about the legs.
Yeah, but I think it's not. You can't talk about just the legs. That's my whole point. It's it's a balance issue. If you look at Ramon's quads, they are smaller than Wesley's, but on his physique, they are more balanced.
But he's more
At the
balanced
Olymp-
at the bottom.
At the Olympia 2023, yes, not at the Arnold's
Like when you look-
24 and not at the Olympia.
Listen, when you look at just the
Yeah.
quad, right?
Yeah.
Wesley's quads are bigger.
Yeah.
No,
But-
now we are legs from the front was the
Right.
discussion point.
That's fine. Even legs from the front are bigger than legs from the front on a Ramon. But because his shoulder structure is so wide, the balance is not the same as this physique.
But especially not in that picture. The balance in that picture is good.
Look at Brion and Urs with him in the 3-man in the front double.
Yeah. Do you see the difference here? Look at Ur's X frame. And then here
Yes.
you have this is a Y. Because the shoulders are so wide that the quads don't.
But still good enough for Brian. I don't say that he has the best. I said they are good enough.
You know,
from
but
the front.
but good at when we were saying good enough, we were saying good enough to win.
Yes.
Yeah,
He
I don't
did.
know. I don't know if his quads don't start to sweep more, if he has enough to win the Olympia.
I think when the hamstrings and the glutes really come up, because that's actually the real issue. Take a look from the back.
That's a
Does he
blurry photo.
do a lot of his pressing like straight foot? Like
No, the problem is the mobility issue, you know. It's hard for him to get into glutes and hamstrings because ankle mobility and because of too short hamstrings and glutes. So the position of the muscle is never in the right place.
I see. Okay.
So it's a long-term job, but it will happen.
This is where like I'm almost opposite. I feel like I can press really good from like
Exactly.
glute hamstring,
Yeah.
but hitting just the quad is like I have to really
And
think
he's
about.
100% opposite.
Yeah, yeah,
So his knee extension is always the way dominant movement.
yeah.
And he needs to refocus to have that pulling moment more than the knee extension.
He needs to come do my workout, and I'll go and do his.
So,
No, no,
Stefan,
it's not about the workout. He needs your movement and
Yeah,
you need his.
yeah,
Stefan, I
Yeah,
saw I only saw one photo from the back, and I agree with you 100%. The hamstrings and
yeah,
adductors from the back
yeah,
are far
yeah,
worse
yeah,
than the quads from the front.
yeah.
But
Mhm.
what I'm saying to you is it's just an overall lower body issue as well, though. Like the overall lower body is not the same as the overall upper body.
It's a little bit not that easy because then the long midsection plays also a role in that.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. But the midsection looks longer because the quads don't pop off the hip. Do you
Yeah,
understand?
they
Like,
And he's
yeah,
got
like
but
that rib cage as
look,
well, which
look, look,
again,
look, look, look.
yeah, I know what you mean.
But hold on, the midsection's not that long, right? The lat stops here, and then you have this midsection, right?
Yeah.
If the quad sweep started in the hip, you would be okay. But
True.
But
because the
that's why, for example, that picture with Arnold, when you go to the left, is much better. Like he poses now a lot, because that was Olympia, I think 2020 you showed.
oh, this
So
one,
down,
yeah.
no, down with Arnold.
Where is he? Oh, here.
That one, yeah,
Oh, you mean this here?
yeah,
He is flaring better for sure.
Yeah, but it's still the same. It's still similar, Stefan,
Yeah.
because the
yeah, it is.
lateralis. Yeah,
Right.
I think if he had more sweep, the waist wouldn't look as long.
Yeah. It's like Nick too,
Yeah,
right?
but that's part of the structure, you know. But
Yeah,
there
yeah,
are points we really can work on, um,
yeah. You can't change
where
where
it
the
can
lateralis
get
is. Yeah, yeah.
better. That's and he has a very specific look. But also, you know, when it comes to that way, we could also start and argue when it comes to Mike that his shoulders are maybe too flat, that his arm chest insertions are not
Can I
that good. You
can I
know,
tell
so
you?
we have always those points.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, I'll tell you firsthand.
Mhm.
I okay. If we're talking about preference only, I
Yeah,
actually
what would
I
be your
if
preference, Ramon?
I actually prefer Wesley's physique to Mike's.
Mhm.
To me, Mike looks more like a bodybuilder. I also don't like that Mike's chest is very flat and it blends right into his delt. There's no separation here.
Hmm.
And I actually absolutely like when I saw Wesley in real life, I absolutely love his physique and I love the throwback to the
Yeah.
70s. Like
Yeah. He looks sick.
he reminds me of fucking Arnold when he's
He
posing. I'm
looked
like,
sick at the Arnold. Like
yeah,
he
like
looked
I
like
was,
the champ.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was crazy.
It was
So
sick.
if we're talking about preference, that's a different thing. Um,
But
but
what's your ultimate preference now when Chris is gone?
I really like Ramon's physique. I've always been a
You are
fan.
you're really a Ramon fan?
I've always been a fan of a little bit bigger limbs and
Uh-huh.
a little bit smaller torso. I just like
Mm-hmm.
the combination. It looks really
Uh-huh.
nice to me. And
Mhm. And he's
Ramon,
separated, you know.
yeah, like if let me bring up Ramon's
Yeah,
photo.
brilliant detail also.
Ramon Dino. I
I
just
really
like
like I really like Urs physique too, though. I do.
like this is a really beautiful physique. Like it's very
That's a
balanced.
that's a brilliant shot.
Yeah.
It's very balanced. There's absolutely nothing missing. Nothing is bigger than anything else. It flows together really well.
Yeah.
Like this is perfect.
That
Like
looks cool. Yeah.
maybe a little bit bigger chest, a little bit, but like
look at that crucifix pose on the far right.
Yeah. Wow.
oh, this one, yeah. Yeah, like
Yeah.
his chest, I could see maybe a little bit more chest, maybe, but like
Mm-hmm.
I've always been a fan of smaller torso, bigger limbs.
Okay. Okay.
Do we know if he's tapped out as far as like the weight?
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
also I think that's maybe the problem they have right now, and which is getting bigger from the
Yeah.
Arnold's to the Olympia because he has so much muscle, and they need to cook him that much down that he
Yeah.
is really struggling and suffering. So actually, I think with every gram of muscle, he probably will have it harder and it will get worse.
Yeah,
Right.
like this is just like standing there, right? He's not even flexing.
Yeah.
This is what I would want to look like if I could look like anything.
Yeah. But here you see, for example, a bone disadvantage to Chris.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, Chris
Chris just looks like he's in. It's crazy.
Chris is a different. It's a different thing altogether. Like
It's
not
wild
even-
how he even makes the weight. Like how he
Yeah,
would.
yeah.
He looks like he's 15 pounds bigger than everybody.
Well, because his bone structure, his shoulders are so
The bone
wide.
structure is so
His hips are very narrow, which means his quads are like
His rib cage is small.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
He's the opposite of Wesley.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. What else did we want? Okay, let's get some questions in before we go. We got to go, actually. Fuck, I didn't realize it was 2 hours already. Regan, you okay for the questions?
Yeah.
When we are talking, we are talking.
Yeah.
All right. Regan, I'm not sure if you've asked. No, this is for Stefan. Sorry. What are your plans to keep James midsection? Actually, that's a good point. I want to show James's.
The midsection is as good as it never was, I think.
This is what I wanted to show. So his midsection looks pretty good in this shot here. Are you going to be able to keep this for him on stage? Because what happens?
Yeah, for sure. It should
Yeah.
get better from that point.
Yeah.
Also, that was after training with 1.5 liter of fluid in it, and
I like
what you did with these front ladders. You changed the pose on that. It looks better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good. He looks
Because he'd always lift up way high, like a Dorian-esque kind of lat spread, right?
Yeah,
I feel like you got him more streamlined, but still
Yeah,
with
that was my plan.
yeah, still with a lot of mass though.
Yeah.
Like it's a nice look.
Yeah.
Okay.
As I said, he's really, really flat here with nearly zero pressure in the muscle.
This is
but
hey, this is a good question. I wanted to fucking ask you guys this. This is hilarious. Put a dollar amount on how much each guest has spent on PEDs, health, and wellness over the course of their career.
What?
Mine's way more on health and wellness than it is on PEDs.
mine not.
Mine's way more. Yeah, me either.
No, but that's only because I started getting my shit for free. So, like,
yeah, but I spent a lot of money on fucking GH, man. Fuck that shit.
No,
was
we
just
were
gonna
from
say,
different.
Fouad,
I even had a credit for my fucking gear.
Yeah. All right, if you had to guess, so I would guess like if I did one kid a month, let's say there were $500.
Well, probably 1.5 kids. What?
Yeah.
That's about right. We're not about now. It's about when you were
It depends if I was in prep or in off season. Okay, so
when you were with Chad.
Chad, that's 2 is 3 kids.
It's a kid a day.
Just average out one kid a month, okay? Because it would be less in off season and more in prep. So one kid a
That's
month.
where you went wrong.
Say $500, 12 months, that's $6,000. And then all your tests, Anadrol, everything is probably like $500 a month. $500 a month.
Total, I would say.
In Canada, it's like 2,000 for one. No, it's like
I would for what
kit.
Yeah, but I used to get the Chinese ones, and they were good back in the day. So I didn't get the pharma ones. I got the pharma ones are like $2,000 a piece. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm probably around like the 10K mark a year for 20 years. No, for 15 years. So what is that? 100? Is that 150? No, what is that?
Some Harley Davidsons.
What is that? 10 grand a year for 15 years. That's 150 grand.
Yeah, 150. It's not. I thought you are programming computer web pages.
Yeah.
I was. That's how I afforded the 150 grand. Is that accurate? Holy shit.
Yeah, for sure.
That's just PEDs, by the way. That's not including your health subs.
That's probably the bottom line too.
I didn't take any health subs, Ben.
Any?
Wait, but health supplements. What about therapy, like massage? And,
oh my God, massage was brutal.
That's at least once or twice a week, right? Probably.
I was probably doing $600 to $1,000 a month.
A month,
on therapies.
I had a guy that I used to pay $1,000 a month to, and I would like it was like a retainer. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I'll give you
Wow.
1,000 for a prep, and I'll just come sit when I get a chance. I'm gonna call you like in the morning,
yeah.
and I'll
Yeah.
go see him.
Nice.
When did the people start in the States with message and all that stuff? Because here in Europe, I would say 10 years ago, 20 years ago, nobody was even thinking about getting therapy.
I'd say 2008 it started to become popular.
That's interesting because Milo said he never got massage.
Yeah,
No,
that's what I say.
Yeah.
I
But
actually
I'm like,
think
how? It's weird because now that I do it, I've done it for so long, I can't imagine not. But
yeah,
maybe
but
it's something that once you do it, you keep doing it. But I guess if you never did it, I don't know.
Regan, can I say something though?
Yeah.
After 10 years or after being retired for 10 years almost or fucking more or whatever or less,
Yeah.
I realized I don't think I needed all that therapy.
Yeah.
I actually think it may have caused some of like my micro tears and stuff
Huh.
because
Interesting.
I was getting some pretty intense therapy, like some hard
Yeah.
like deep tissue massage,
Yeah.
and I would get little micro tears in my quads, and I'm like, I wonder if it was like the massage therapy was so intense that
Yeah.
it was actually leaving like a little bit of trauma in the muscle, and
Right.
then
Like
right,
not
so
allowing it to recover.
right,
Yeah.
so I wonder, and then I think to myself, I'm like, I wonder if I just didn't do any therapy, if I would have been totally fucking fine.
Hmm.
Like, and I was in your shoes. Like, I would do it, and then I'm like, I think I'm just used to it. I think
Yeah.
it's just like part of my routine. Like, I go every
Yeah.
week.
It's like, but
Yeah,
then you have Jay who did like 4 or 5 sessions a week. Like he was huge on.
but I'm gonna say this, and I don't know if this is a fact. So if Jay's listening, I sincerely apologize. I thought I remembered back in the day, part of the reason that was done is because he had some scar tissue built up from shots,
Okay.
and the massage he was getting done was more to break up scar tissue than it was for recovery.
Yeah.
Now, that might be not true, so please
Hmm.
nobody take that to heart. And if Jay, if you're listening, I apologize, but that's what I thought that was, is to because he was losing some of the detail in his shoulders and stuff, and I thought it was just breaking up scar tissue and like
Great.
allowing some of that detail to come back through.
I see. Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if therapies are.
I think it's really relied on, like everywhere, on the quality and on the skills.
Right.
Yeah. Oh
On
yeah.
the,
So
Yeah.
on the
as
Yeah.
as
individual.
as as I have a therapy institute nearly since 20 years, and my best friend who is training and bodybuilding since 30 years, worked 15 years from that in a hospital before we got self-employed and opened our institute. And I think he has done thousands of people, not only bodybuilders, he was professionally working for football clubs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
And what I always get on from his feedback when he speaks with athletes who are used to, for example, now James was there and James also get treatment in the UK and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, he always says that one of the big problems is that therapists manipulate and do chiropractic things without getting the density out of the muscle before.
Yeah. I can see
So
that.
that's the first issue. They work in a stuck system. The second thing, which is especially modern these days, they are working with tools. So
Yeah.
when they work with tools, they don't feel the feedback of the tissue.
yeah. I don't
He
like the
says
tools. I
he
don't like
needs
the tools.
to feel the feedback of the tissue with his thumb.
Right. Right.
He
Yeah.
needs to feel how the pressure of the tissue gets back and all that stuff. And
Right.
I think there is a lot of wrong brutality when it comes to that things because it should be cool or whatever,
Stefan.
instead of doing something real medical
Right.
important and reacting on the tissue of the client.
So I kind of was in on the forefront of like this whole massage movement. One of the guys I used to see used to do a therapy called Graston's, which is they use tools basically to scrape the fascia of the muscle, breaking up scar tissue, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, this guy would do it, and I would leave there, and my fucking bicep or wherever he worked on,
Yeah.
it would be purple.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh no, it's supposed to look like that." Well, it come to find out, like a year later, talking to some other therapist, like, "Hey, it's supposed to be like a little bit red, maybe.
Yeah.
Not supposed to be fucking black and blue.
Yeah.
Like, what is this guy doing to you?" So, like, I think you're 100% right, Stefan. I think there is a place for therapy, but a lot of it is hinges on who is doing it, how they're doing it, these kind of things. Yeah.
Yeah. And same with the cupping too. Like for me, I don't mind a little bit of cupping after everything's been done and you're pulling the skin up out of the, you get that feeling when you're moving it.
Yeah.
It's nice. But if you're just going to place 10 cups on my back, leave it, I'm going to go purple. I don't like it. I don't feel like it does that much, but
I don't feel like cupping does anything. I feel like it's
that's just my personal.
My business, and he has more than 20 years of working with high level athletes. He says cupping is for nothing.
Yeah, it feels good, but it doesn't like it feels good when they're doing it, but I don't feel like it actually like does anything. I'm like, yeah. Okay, let's do some more of these before you go. Can you go over what being flat, peeled, striated, full, etc.? That's a whole different show. We'll go over like each term
We
one at a
need
time.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stefan, this was the question I think I saw yesterday. I can't find it now, but I'm curious. Stefan, the guy asked, what is the best thing about being autistic and what's the worst thing about being autistic?
The worst thing is that hyperfocus. For example, I can't enjoy things. Like we had the talk with the cars the last time. When I go out and just want to open the door of my car, I see 7 scratches nobody else would see.
Oh, that would suck.
And that drives me nuts because I really can't enjoy things because I see things nobody else sees.
It's got to be perfect.
And actually, that's also the best thing of being autistic. I see things other people don't see.
Right.
Jesus, that's
so it's brilliant and also shit.
That's why you noticed your sparkly gay beard.
Yeah.
I conditioned it today, Ben.
Was Tinkerbell in the home today?
No, I conditioned my beard. It's nice and shiny.
Listen, what product did you use?
Head and Shoulders, whatever the fuck I had in the shower. No, Stefan, this is a good question actually. And I'm saying Stefan because it says to Stefan. If all health markers are in line, is there a reason to cruise? Like if I go get my blood work and everything's perfect.
No. Good.
Just stay on? No. That's not fucking true. That's a meathead thing to say.
No.
This guy took 150 milligrams of Anadrol. What are you talking about?
No,
same guy.
Like the biggest
same guy.
Same guy.
No. I have a provoking back answer. If everything is fine and you are on a lot of gear, be sure that you are on a lot of gear.
Yeah, your gear's not shit. Yeah. Well, you know what? That brings up a good point. It's probably not really a good hypothetical because if you're on gear, something is bound to be, if you're on long enough anyway, something is bound to be out of whack.
Yes. 100%.
For Regan, what are the main differences between working with Milos and working with Stefan?
Well, we're doing our first contest. I think a lot more check-ins. It's very frequent with Stefan, so we're doing like every 3 days.
See, that's what I was talking about earlier. It's that kind of shit.
Yeah. This is good for me. It helps me, and then it gives me, like 3 days to try to improve. So I like that style.
All right.
Yeah,
I don't want to let you go too far because I don't want to insult.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
All right, let me get to this question. It's a good one, Ben. How did you know you were ready to settle down and get married and be committed to one woman?
Why Ben?
Ben,
all 4 of us are in relationships.
Ben knows why I asked him. Go ahead.
Why? I don't know why.
I really want to know why also.
Oh, because you think I'm the fucking romantic cunt in the group? Yeah, cheers, mate.
No, that's not why. That's not why. You know why. Go on.
I don't know why. I don't know.
Got enough.
All right. We'll spread it out to the rest of the group. Can you guys give this guy an answer as to why? How do you know when you're ready to settle down and get married and be committed to one woman?
I was studying medicine and I was cutting up dead people.
Okay.
at the moment. Yeah,
Yeah.
officially not as a criminal.
not a hobby.
Uh, and my wife entered the room because she also was studying medicine. And when the door was opened and it was really like that, I knew that I gonna marry that wife.
I thought Ben was the romantic. Holy shit.
Four weeks later, we had the first meeting, and she never left, and that's 25 years ago.
Wow.
You know what?
Great.
That's actually, you know what? That's actually kind of how it happened for me too. I wasn't cutting up dead bodies, but like I kind of kind of like that. You kind of know, like when you meet the person, you're like, oh man, this is like this is the fucking person.
Yeah.
I had the same, I guess the same thing. I just didn't know we were talking about the actual like first meeting because
Yeah.
it wasn't that point where I knew I was going to swim, but there was that connection for sure. Like I remember, so I was with Rebecca Andrews, a British videographer at the Arnold, and she sat down next to me and I said hello to her, and I turned around and went, "Fuck!" I nearly kissed her. Like I nearly just like I nearly just leant in and kissed her. I don't know why.
But can I actually? I'm going to be a little bit like not romantic about this for a second.
Yeah.
Can I also say that it's kind of like you have to decide in your head that it's time?
Yeah.
Because if you're like 20, let's say you're 26 or something, and you meet your future wife. If you're 26 and you're not ready, you could meet your future wife and it might not matter. You're still like, I want to still fuck chicks, and like you still like, I'm going to play the field for another 10 years. At some point, you have to decide like, yeah, I'm ready to just stop. I'm ready to settle down. I'm ready to like give this person like everything.
Yeah.
Because
I think that's a great take. I do. Yeah. I think,
For me, it's also, it sounds quite strange, but for me, it's also very, very easy. Those talks and those feeling of being connected to a person and that understanding is way more than any sexual feeling.
right, but but let me give you a scenario. I have had friends before who could have that connection and feeling with every girl they fuck. They're like, I've known friends that I've known friends that like, no, I've had friends, they'll be in like a 1 month relationship and like, this is the one. I know this is the one.
Yeah, but
And
that's because the sex is driving it. If you remove that sex, then what happens?
Yeah.
It's done. Yeah.
I know that, but you never know that. Like you might, if you think that's the thing all the time, when you meet the one, you're not going to know because you thought that before for the last 15 girls.
Yeah, somebody who's doing that over and over and over needs to have interest in someone and have no sexual things for like 2 weeks, say.
What I'm trying to say, I'm being very like
and then can you hang out with that person and be with them and really enjoy that time?
You can cover the gaps with physical like
I know
loss, right?
I'm being very like non-emotional about it. What I'm saying is I think every guy at some point, regardless of the girl, or not maybe totally regardless, but at some point a guy goes, I'm ready now. I'm done. Like I'm
100%.
I don't need to chase pussy anymore. I'm good. Because you could meet the one. Like if I would have met Summer when I was 22, she would have been just another notch. Right? I shouldn't say it like that.
Whoa. How many notches, Fouad?
I was 19 when I met him. I was 19.
So long belt you've got.
What's the count, Fouad?
That's not what I meant. I just meant like it wouldn't have been. I'm saying like I met her at 28 and I was ready at 28. So she came along at the perfect time. So
perfect time.
What I'm saying is the person has to be the right person, but the time also has to be the right time.
I was 19. I was 19, alcoholic and the black metal freak.
Yeah, but that was your time. You were ready.
You were ready.
You have to admit there's a component of it that you have to be ready. You can't just be like,
imagine, I will never understand why she stayed, because I was drunk. We were getting home and she was getting into a flat where everything was black. Black curtains, black walls, black furniture, pictures of cemeteries on the wall, and pictures of cut off people. And the first thing I said, I need to show you some music. Now we're gonna listen to my favorite bands.
Oh my God. Yeah, you know what you did? You basically You basically brought her in. You're like, this is the worst of me.
Yeah, it can only get better.
And then you're like, and you're basically just did a test. You're like, if she stays, she's the one.
Yeah, she's like, most probably, yes.
Yeah.
She saw the potential.
Yeah. That's fucking hilarious. Okay. We'll do one more, then we'll go. Regan, I'm glad you came on, man. It's been fun.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. I love it. It's great.
Okay. Nope. 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 Nope.
Gymnastic questions?
For the dad. Oh, you know what? We'll finish with this. So, Regan, we've been having this debate on the podcast about skill.
Yeah.
And my
what, fixing things around the house?
My position is that there are varying degrees of skill, and bodybuilding is not on the higher end of the degree of skill. And I've been using gymnastics as an example, but I have a better example, Stefan, that I want to show you just to emphasize the level of skill, the level of skill, and how difficult something can be in comparison to bodybuilding. But Regan, before I do that, what do you think? Are all skills equal, or are there varying degrees of skill for things?
Like does one sport require more skill than another?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, well, not according to Stefan. According to Stefan, that bodybuilding, the skill of bodybuilding is just as difficult as a skill of gymnastics or skill of figure skating or skill of stunt driving, which I'm going to show you right now.
I think in different ways. Like the skill might be in such different variables because skill comes from even I don't know. I mean, I know like physically doing something, but bodybuilding is so much more than that because you need skill from the team. You need skill. The coach needs to have skill to do the right thing, to become the right thing. You know, like.
Okay, hold on a minute. Do you think it takes more skill?
You see, Fouad?
Do you think it takes more skill to drive this fucking car the way Ken Block drives it, or to bodybuild?
I would probably learn that more easy than being a good bodybuilder.
Are you? Oh my fucking! Are you insane?
Yeah.
Are you fucking
No,
insane?
really.
It could be true. It could be true.
Ken Block is literally the god of fucking stunt driving.
He's
it's
okay. He's
it's the hardest thing.
But I'm closer to Ken Block than to Ronnie Coleman.
Oh my god! Now you're talking about genetics. You're not talking about skill.
Wait. Do you not think that part of that comes into genetics though? Like someone's hand-eye coordination or their ability?
Yes, of course, but the ability
did some crazy things with the cars this weekend.
Guys, this is crazy. Like, can we watch this for 1 second? Can we watch this for 1 second? Like, this guy is handling this car as if it's a fucking toy. Like, this is years and years and years of experience.
But how many hours did Ronnie Coleman put in the gym, and how many hours did this guy put in the park?
Yeah, but
you're only in awe of that because you can't do that.
But you're equating you're equating two different things. You're equating the time it takes to build muscle versus the time it takes to build a skill. Those are two different things. What do you mean no? The time
it's repetition. It's repetition.
Repetition and repetition.
You guys are hurting my fucking brain, man.
We need a special episode, and we get Theo on. And then Theo tells us, did it take longer and more skills to do his fucking backflip or to do a fucking good squat?
Most people don't have the skill just not to eat the food.
Are you crazy? Are you crazy?
Let's ask Theo.
This seems like the most asinine argument to me ever. We just watched a guy. We just watched the guy that's like literally on like the Mount Rushmore of stunt driving. And you guys are like,
pull up Ronnie and get him to pull up Ronnie and get him train. Show me videos of him training.
Yeah,
I'll show you. I'll give you the same response.
Let's see the 12 repetitions with the 200-pound dumbbell.
I want to see Ken Block put up those 200.
Fuck you. You know what, Regan? Fuck you. You're doing it on purpose now. Listen, there's Somebody said Fouad has crashed out. You're fucking right. I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
He's crashing all right.
Lost my fucking mind. I need the fucking word. I got one of those somewhere.
It's in your pants, so just start grabbing it.
So I can't have this conversation with you guys. You know what? Fuck you guys.
Hey, you brought this one up, man.
Ben,
like,
you're
Can we take another? Can we scrap Ken? Can we choose someone else?
Well, my original argument was Olympic gymnastics. I'm like, this is like wild shit that they do. I'm like, you can't compare. And the fact that you guys are equating all levels of skill is insane to me, because even within certain sports, they get points based on the difficulty level of their tricks. So obviously that means there are varying degrees of skill. And you guys are just like, nope, Ronnie Coleman's wild, so that means everybody else is just like Ronnie Coleman. I'm like, Ronnie Coleman.
See, the weight on the bars is difficult.
No,
that's another difficulty gauge.
That's strength. That's not skill. That's strength.
Well,
You're conflating two different arguments.
There's the skill, and then there's how hard is the sport. Like bodybuilding is up there in how hard it is. The skill of doing the physical thing.
Yes.
Is like.
Thank you. This is what I've been saying.
No.
You're talking about if you're talking about difficulty. If you're talking about difficulty, I'll give you. Bodybuilding is difficult. If you're talking about skill, I'm sorry, it's not that difficult.
Wait, stop. Can everyone be a bodybuilder? Yes. Can everyone be a good bodybuilder? Maybe not. No. Can everyone be Can everyone be the best? No.
Can everyone be a gymnast?
That's not skill. That's not skill. That's not fucking skill. That's fucking genetics. That's not skill.
I ask now Google.
That's ChatGPT.
This guy says Ken Block was a legend, and so is Ronnie. So they both win. All right. All right. We'll go.
Explanation skill. Skill is the core of teaching process. Teachers must master the instructional materials and strategies, how to explain them effectively and understandably. Explaining skills is an oral skill in present bladder shit.
You know what? People in the chat don't want to hear this argument anymore. We're going to move on. I do want to ask you this though. This guy's got an interesting question. He said, "Is bull riding a skill?" And I would say yes. Would you guys say bull riding?
Can I answer? Can I answer quick?
Yeah. Go ahead.
A pro gymnast requires far more technical skill due to precision, coordination, and complex movements. But a pro bodybuilder requires extreme discipline. But success is more about physique development than technical execution.
Yes.
Gymnastics is the more skill-based sport.
Thank you. Amir in a
That's ChatGPT.
That was ChatGPT, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amir in a he's like, fuck, if the robots think it, then I must have lost. Amir says skill is the objective. Maybe it's easier for a gymnast to do a flip. Maybe it's easier for Ronnie Coleman to do a squat. Thank you for your super chat, but you're wrong. No, Regan. I like Regan. I like Regan's.
Yeah, I must now say okay with the ChatGPT answer I discussed. Thank you, Elon Musk.
Okay, I think Regan finally put the debate to bed. Okay.
Yeah.
Couldn't
leave without it.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Regan, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
We are done.
Yeah. Why? You want to stay on? It's been 2.5 hours.
I missed the evening meal with the family, so they are not here.
He's like, stay on.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Rig.
Comparing now and then comparing before, like back in time, how has social media affected the sport of bodybuilding in a good way or a bad way?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, it's affected it in a good way in that people have more access to bodybuilders. People get more of the truth of what bodybuilding is. They get to understand firsthand from people like yourself on a podcast what it's like to be a bodybuilder, what your personality's like, all these things, right?
Yeah.
It's done a disservice to it in that bodybuilders used to be idolized in a way by the people that follow bodybuilding because they were only seen in the magazines in the most perfect conditions, perfect lighting, perfect this, perfect that. And any articles that were written about bodybuilders were always complimentary. You
Yeah.
didn't really get a lot of like shit talk or any of that. So
Yeah.
I think social media has taken bodybuilding from being like on a mountaintop somewhere where these guys are these crazy perfect physiques, and it's brought them down to a more human level.
Yeah.
But I think by doing that, it's brought more people into the sport.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
It's
I
funny
don't
you
know.
mentioned that because I'm actually doing a series where, like, okay, I'm doing Jay Cutler's back workout.
Right.
If you search Jay Cutler's back workout, you're only going to find a workout within 6 weeks of a contest
Right.
from back in 2005 or
Right.
in that
Right.
era. They really did just show their best.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I couldn't find anything off season really.
Yeah. No.
You know, Fouad,
Sorry. Go ahead, Stefan.
I don't know if you also feel like that. The gym community back, so resident in the gym, going there, drinking a coffee, meeting before the training, training after having lunch, going dinner, going out together was much bigger before
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah. But you know what? But you know what, Stefan? I think that's across all genres. I think before people were connected in real life. I think now people are connected online.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like meeting somebody
Yeah.
in real life, whether it was bodybuilding or whether it was motorcycle riding or whatever your hobby is.
It's
I think
much less.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think people used to do it a lot more, and it was more meaningful because you couldn't connect any other way.
Right.
I
Now,
see.
go
I
ahead,
see
Ben.
less I see less groups of guys training
Yeah.
for long periods of time together.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. There's definitely, I think social media is it's kind of a contradiction in terms because it's kind of like reduced.
Antisocial. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost made people more antisocial than more social.
Yeah. For sure.
So they turn to their phones instead of turning towards like real life. But I don't know, in
Yeah.
terms of, I don't know, what do you think, Ben? Like in terms of bodybuilding, is social media good or bad or both or what?
Man, I'm
Well,
so
the
like
sponsorship game,
biased.
like,
Yeah, I mean, when Regan asked the question in my brain, I don't know, this isn't meant to be insulting. I'm like, hey man, look where you're at, given, right? Because
yeah.
to get to where you're at, and I'm only assuming your financial freedom, but to get where you're at, maybe 20, 30 years ago, you'd have had to have won the Olympia a good number of times, right? You had to
Right.
have
Right.
won a number of shows. I look at
Yeah.
where I'm at, the point where I'm at, and I think there's clear advantages to it, but I'm not sure it's worth some of the negatives that come about from it, and that goes deep, you know.
Right.
And like I said, I think the social restriction and my ability to even converse and communicate is mostly digital now, and I dislike that. You know, it becomes harder to, I don't know, just I think things are just harder and more enclosed into that digital space.
Yeah.
It's good and bad.
True.
I
If
think
you're
Fouad said
aware
it
of it,
quite good.
Go ahead, Stefan. What'd you say?
You said it quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, there's a lot of benefits. I mean, for sure, Ben's right. Like, I wouldn't have a podcast. I mean, most bodybuilders when they retire, they end up being personal trainers. Now I have a supplement company, I have a podcast, I have all these, and that a lot of that is based on social media being the outlet.
Yeah.
So, and same thing for athletes. Like you guys, the cool thing for athletes is they're not beholden to any one sponsor anymore because one, there are multiple sponsors. Two, if you're really if your work ethic is good enough, you can make enough money on YouTube, TikTok, whatever, and not even need a sponsor. So like there are a lot of different avenues now, but I do miss the I do miss the time when bodybuilders were looked at more as heroes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if heroes is the right word, but like we're looked at as bigger than life, I guess.
Yeah.
So
And
there's
kind of just you're going to the show and you don't really know what to expect because you haven't seen them all
yeah,
year, right?
yeah, yeah,
And I never was a part of that, so I don't really know
yeah.
that you know how that was. Yeah.
It had its there's its benefits to it for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know if I would trade it.
Yeah. I think it's given a lot of opportunities for
I
people to work now, you know, to be just
I,
bodybuilders.
I don't
I
know
think
if this is
back
right.
then there was only maybe 10 guys that could just be a bodybuilder,
Yeah,
right? Or
true.
20 or
Yeah,
30,
yeah,
you
yeah. You're
know?
right. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Ben.
I don't know if this is relevant really, but you know, my stepson's like 12 and he's like was about to be 13, so he's getting into that like social media
Mm-hmm.
era. And one thing I said to him, he's big on you like into YouTube, and I'm like, hey man, like be more of the master and less of the puppet. Like it's a vehicle for you to utilize if you can, but don't be living your life on it. Show some of your life on it if you can, but don't be beholden to it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
hit the walk a line for sure. Okay, guys, Stefan, Regan, Ben, thank you, boys.
Thank
We'll
you.
See
see
Have
you.
me on.
we'll see you guys